Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Cormundum Chaos. I am your host, the Uncommon Guru, and we're back. We're ready to take on Ripe, but before we do that, I need to introduce our lovely friends. We have Paris playing the human barbarian Serenity.
She's not human.
Oh, ASMR. I was thinking of... People change their names and they flip-flop all over the place. So
No,
I was going to go with Aurelius.
You were thrown off so hard by what Zark said. I can hear you trying not to fucking laugh.
I am trying, okay? Shut the fuck up. He said nothing. I mean,
I said plenty.
You said enough.
I said so much with so little.
I am aware. We have...
I did it!
We have Kendall, who is playing our Artificer Wizard.
She has no
Artemis.
race.
What?
She has no race.
Half-elf.
Half-elf? She has no race.
Her race is 100 meters.
Her race is confusion.
Her race is a 100-meter sprint.
We have Moss, who is playing our human fighter, Elizabeth. And we have ye old man over here, Zark, who is playing the human paladin, Aurelius.
I thought you were only going to be like, ye old bastard.
I considered it, but I have more class than that. That class is currently trying not to dip into barbarian.
That's usually multi-class.
I could. I'm not.
Are you okay, Zark?
Yeah, of course.
He called me an old man. I aged like 30 years. Which would only make me 50.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
still
going to say,
young.
like, 50 still counts as middle-aged.
Yeah, you're still young.
I was going to say, you took up smoking if you...
I don't know why,
Look,
but
I'm old by medieval standards.
by medieval standards,
30
yes.
years. Not like that. What do you mean?
So,
Come back in 10 years.
all right. So here, listen here, youngins. I'm giving you all 30 years back, free of charge.
Elizabeth was going to say us or our characters, because Elizabeth isn't born anymore.
I was about to say, I'm like, Serenity's gone, bro.
Oh no!
We're all gone except for Artemis.
Artemis, look around.
Aurelius is
Where'd they go?
Everyone.
DM's just like, you know what? Screw you. Unages your character.
You know, fuck you,
Honestly,
unages.
like it's like, oh no, we're gonna die of old age. Imagine a Sphinx de-aging you.
I would rather
Terrifying.
die at old age than just become non-existent again.
Yeah, that's some bullshit there. But we're not here about Sphinxes. We're here about a satyr. A
That's the
very
voice of
quirky
someone who has
satyr.
ideas.
I have so many ideas. You're gonna hear all of them or none of them, depending on how you do things. Which, to be
Probably
fair,
not.
we'll see. You guys have made your way into and through a stretch of the Feywild. It was not kind to you.
It was rude and a slight annoyance and made me a bit traumatized, not gonna lie. But that was only in character.
Correct.
Yeah.
I
In
don't care if I
reality, I
heard
was
you guys
enjoying the
like
whole thing.
it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Davey.
I had to bring in Davey to give myself a moment to breathe because I was myself about to cry. And I'm like, I need someone to help. Davey! Do something!
Davy's the best get out of jail free card character I've made.
If you ever see Davey, know that I am in the middle of a brain moment where I'm like, I need something to break the mood for just a moment to reorient myself. Davey, get in here! And Davey will just wander in. You don't know why he's
Because
there. He's just
You
there.
never know with Davey.
He
doesn't need an explanation.
He followed the cha-cha slide with the slide to the left, slide to the right. You went too far with the crisscross, and now you're backwards, forwards.
Davy is
What?
like the mysterious wanderer
Yeah.
in Fallout.
The mysterious stranger.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway.
You get a critical hit, and all of a sudden you just see Davey just be like, "I got you, fam." Just all of a sudden throws this mop, engulfs the person. That person just disappears. No one knows where they went. They're just gone. I got you, homie. However,
Anyway, we went to old mate's house.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I think all but Serenity passed the will save. Was it?
Yep.
Wait.
Yep. Serenity currently is looking up at the very fancy lights. They're quite nice. It's just
Are they like Christmas decorations that haven't been taken down since December?
I walk up to them and just stand under them like a fucking moth.
You can't move.
I know, but I
Yeah.
can't move because I'm hypnotized. That's why I'm asking. Can I just get close to them?
no. You have a move speed of 0.
Damn.
Yeah, you're just kind of there, just like, oh, all right.
This is my life, I guess.
Yeah, for the moment. As you see, right, just kind of like on a rise. You can actually hear that there's actually like a river between you and him, as he's elevated above you, and then elevated slightly above the ground. He's standing on like a stone platform, and just seems to be looking down at you with this kind of this cocky grin of just someone who's just like, hi. Well, you all are here very timely. I don't imagine you got here on your own. Shame that. It'd been more fun if you were out here on your own. Then I could actually get to hear how your travel actually was and get to write that into other stories and the like. Do you know how much people love to hear stories of people who got lost in the Feywild? It's honestly a treat.
You just love the sound of your own voice, don't you?
Who doesn't love the sound of your voice?
I don't. Aurelius says softly.
You haven't heard your voice in the right tone. Try with a little more umber, a little more bass.
Look, you know why we're here. Let's
No.
stop the... You don't know why we're here?
No!
It's so I can punch you in that fucking face of yours.
Well, that just sounds rude.
Well, you took people.
No, I invited them here, and they're my guests. There's a difference.
You didn't tell them what you were doing.
I told them exactly what I was doing. I told them I was taking them to my home. And they said, yes, please take us to your home. And I took them here. This is my home. I was very forthright with them.
When?
During all that kerfuffle and scuffle and hubbada wabbada whatever was going on there. They were screaming, I was eating a peach, and I was like, man, something's going on.
Yeah, thanks for not helping with that, by the way.
You're welcome. I knew you had it covered.
I wasn't being serious. You really need to learn what sarcasm is.
What's sarcasm?
It's like,
How
being
about I
serious
show
but
him?
not.
How about I show him with every punch I give to that fucking face? And a grin just passes over Elizabeth's lips.
You really like
We
hitting
don't-
things. We have trees that you can punch, but
No, I don't punch trees. I punch people who piss me the fuck off.
We don't have to fight. If you let us take them back home, we don't have to do anything violent about this.
they don't want to go home. I'm
Have you
certainly
lost?
not going to. Yeah. Well, no. Ladies, you want to go home and you just hear this, we like it here, in complete unison.
Oh god.
That's not terrible. Oh my god. Right, you have no idea how wrong it is what you did.
I protected them. I did what I was asked to do, and then some, really. I've given them a place that is safe from all those dangers forever. Just like I've done before.
As this is happening, Aurelius is slowly stepping backwards towards Serenity and purposefully standing on her footsies.
My footsies. Now I'm just imagining Serenity with toe beams.
You're so into having animals that you're turning into one.
Look. I've never actually played a race with toe beams, and I'm actually disappointed when I think about that.
I'm honestly surprised.
Same.
I've not played a tabaxi. I have played a lizard folk, but I don't think they can have toe beams exactly.
No.
They have toe beams?
Not specifically.
You can get armor that looks like toe beans, probably.
Probably. Now, Tabaxi have toe beans. Let's be
Yes.
honest. However, that's not what this is about. So you
But yes,
you step on her foot and you break her out of it.
Ah.
Sorry, not sorry.
As he kind of just he's just kind of like squats on his haunches, like, well, if you want to punch me so bad, why don't you come over here and do it?
No. Hang on now.
Oh no, she's been really insistent. I'd love for her to just walk straight over here.
Yeah, see, I ain't that stupid.
Are you
No.
though?
Right.
She's pretty stupid.
Elizabeth reaches behind her, not even paying attention to Aurelia. She reaches behind her and pulls out her axe and kind of tosses it a few times in her hand, making it spin and kind of going, I don't have to go to you
Okay,
to
now
make this
before
hurt.
we do anything
Aim for-
drastic,
Oh,
Right.
Are we going to play a game of catch the axe? I'm very bad at this game. I think you're a little bit too far away to hit me. You'd have to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'd have to get a lot closer. Like we'd have to be like, maybe, hugging distance.
Oh, this isn't gonna work. Elizabeth puts it back and takes the crossbow off her shoulder. How about this?
Aurelius pulls out his spear, which is a good distance between him and...
Want to try that again?
Ooh, feisty. Come on, keep it on. Keep it on.
so right
Look, I don't...
On the-
Exactly. Sorry.
on the off chance that your lovely audience does wake up and come out of the stupor that you've put them in with your lovely lyrical genius, I am sure. Would you not prefer them waking up in a nice environment where they will want to hear a repeat of your performance rather than being scared of you?
They are in a nice environment, and they loved my performance. Don't you, ladies? We love it here. It's amazing. Just
Now, you
again.
can't think that's genuine.
Oh, it is 100%. They can only speak the truth.
But in unison?
Can I insight that, bruh?
Sure.
I'll also insight that.
Elizabeth is still holding her crossbow. I don't think she cares.
No, that's why I asked, because I didn't know if he would say yes or no to that.
That's 11. As far as Aurelius is concerned, it's a bit fishy, but he's trusting it.
He's at the very least trusting it to you. You're like, he's at least convinced. Paris, he seems convinced of it, although there is a bit of a twitch to their smile. A bit of something out of place, perhaps.
Can I do a perception check on the girls?
You can't see them.
Oh,
They're
You
like,
just hear 'em.
Yeah, you can just
You
hear
just
them.
hear
He's like 10, 15 feet above you guys on a
Yeah.
rise.
Yeah, he's trying to get Elizabeth to go into the room after him too.
Man,
Oh
it's
no,
just-
it's like deep into the room, basically.
This man is literally on a platform.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going to use this opportunity to just do a single pulse of divine sense real quick.
Things that are undead, celestial, or fiendish.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case, of course.
Yeah.
Within 60 feet of you.
Not behind total cover.
Not behind
So
total
if
cover,
it's-
of course.
Yeah.
Anything in a box you're not going to see. You
No.
do not sense celestial fiend or undead.
Alright, so he at least knows that he doesn't have to kill anything.
Ah,
Yeah.
can I do
You-
perception on the room?
Can you
Perception
Yeah.
on the room.
what? Yeah, you can make a perception
yes.
check.
23.
I am going to
Nice.
give you a DM.
Could I do an Arcana check just around us in general?
I'd say there's nothing that would specifically spark it.
Okay.
She's kind of looking at Ripe. You don't actually believe that, do you? What DMs? The secrets.
I'm allowed my secrets.
I'm waiting for Artemis to like shoot a chandelier and just take Ripe out.
I know what I'm about. Do you know what you're about? And do you know what you're getting yourself into?
I know that I am trying to make sure that you do not disappoint a friend of
You realize
yours.
she can't shoot anything, right?
I'm the one that can shoot right now.
You have spells.
Any of you can technically hit me. I mean, with enough gumption and gusto and whatnot. He like does like a little tap dance and does his like throwing his hands around like, come on, put him up, put him
I
up.
think that was out of character.
Oh,
Yeah, it was out of character.
well, I didn't know.
He's too into the right mindset.
I'm in the right mindset for this.
I don't think that you would like to risk a potential friendship just for an audience that you already had.
Artemis,
Artemis.
Go ahead, Kendall.
Artemis is going to put an arm. Y'all didn't hear what I said already?
Nope.
No, it cut you off.
Okay,
Take off.
I'll start over. Artemis is going to put an arm out, and she's going to look around to the other people and be like,
It cut you off again.
Why is it
You
cutting
said you're
off?
gonna put
mine-
your arm out and
the
then
floor. It looks like some parts of it can give out. Hold on a minute.
Aw, you're gonna just say that? Come on.
Mind the floor. It can give out.
Are you saying
Very
that
easily.
out loud?
Yes.
Ah, spoil sport. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to turn on the other party lights then, aren't I?
Oh no, not again. Serenity like actually covers her eyes.
He takes a pose and he kind of claps his hands together, just like, "Places, everyone. They want
Right.
a taste of violence. We'll instead put on a show." And I need you all to make a Constitution save.
Oh, great.
Yay!
What
Constant.
is
Concept.
Yeah. 23.
Let's see how bad it is.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm
16.
23!
All right. So once again,
mad.
Serenity is the only one who is affected for this a little bit more long term. The three of you see him clap, and there's this very, very impressive burst of light that just kind of crackles in front of your face.
If it's visual, can I at least get advantage since she covered her eyes?
I'm gonna say no. You wouldn't have had time to react to it before he did that.
The minute that he said we're gonna put on a show and she covers her eyes for that, there's not enough of a reaction. While he's what's
doing
the term?
showboating.
Yeah.
Even though Aurelius didn't know what was gonna happen, he's still gonna instinctively, after the lights are up, just pull up his shield.
Fair.
Like, it does nothing, but it's exactly what I would do.
Fair.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say the roll's gonna stand for now. It only lasts for a round.
No, I'm back to being. I'm gonna go back to drawing. Hit me up when someone wakes me up.
You're not.
It's
No.
a round.
You
It's
are
a
not.
round.
No, Parrish. You're not
What?
incapacitated. You are blinded. It is a bright flash of lights. He set off a firework in front of your face.
No, I can't hear flashbang no more. My friend ruined it because now all I can think of is Scout. Fake fast chuckle nuts.
Basically, that's what he did to you. That's basically what he did to you. And when you guys pull your arms and whatnot away, you are blinded for a little bit longer. He is not there.
Oh.
Son of a bitch.
I'm getting so tired of these potty tricks.
Aurelius is gonna use the spear to poke at the ground.
Hold on. No, we're not doing that. We're rolling initiative.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
he's not gonna let us do that.
Why did I take damage?
Okay.
What happened to my health?
Oh, that's right, I have to do this with disadvantage.
Pog 25.
Okay, so I got a 15. Yeah, okay, my actual one is 13. I forgot that was fucking.
Where are you putting yourself? No, down at the
Wait.
bottom.
Exhaustion affects in
Initiative. Yes.
That? Yes, it does.
Yo,
It's a skill check.
is my boy Hephaestus on show?
Not
do I
yet,
have-
no.
I don't have advantage
Not
yet
until
on
level
these, right?
7.
It's level 7. Okay.
Down here.
What is...
Further.
Huh?
Further down.
Huh?
Whoever is on the map, you're still in the middle of the map.
Oh!
Yes.
I don't think that's me. I was just trying to
That
figure out
was
what the fuck you did.
That was me. He was not
Oh.
talking to you.
Yes.
That was me.
I can't neither of you have images yet, so I don't know who is who yet.
Oh, come on, let me put my thing. It won't let me move. Apparently, I can't move myself onto the board.
You should have access to that.
I know, I've done it before. Give me a sec. I'm gonna reload
Click
up
hold,
Roll20.
drag, drop.
Yeah, it gave me the red circle with the slash through it. So let me try this again.
Rude.
I've reloaded up Roll20. Let me see if it'll work.
Aurelius is gonna do a sick parkour backflip and then be in the center and then kill everything.
Okay, you killed all the civilians. What do you do next?
I turn to the dark side and travel to Mustafar.
Alright, you travel to Mustafar, you see your old mentor. They cut off your legs and arm and they tell you that you were their brother. They loved you and you are set on fire.
Okay, can I use divine intervention?
You're not a cleric, you die.
Damn
You're
it.
not a cleric, you die. The finality of that sentence.
Hold on a second.
Guess I'm rolling a new
Hold-
I'm rolling a new
Hold on a
character.
second. Hold on a second. The BBEG is a cleric. They use divine intervention to save you. However, you are turned to the dark side, which means that I have to take away your character sheet. It's mine now, John. You can't have it back.
You are now this person's bitch.
Darth
Can
Vader
I
is
at
mine.
least well,
Unless
GG,
everyone
I
wants
guess
to
I
play a
have-
BBEG campaign. He's mine now, John.
I cannot stay evil for that long.
I
can.
could.
I have tried playing evil. It does not work. I eventually just loop back.
There's I put my token on there and I rolled initiative, but it won't record it because it says I haven't selected a token. I don't understand the math.
When you drop the token on it, if you click on it to make sure that it is selected and then hit initiative, that's when it will put your token on.
Ah,
The
that's why I
initiative.
had so much issue.
So yeah, just
Oops.
you can input your own initiatives in, or I can do it, whichever you prefer. Paris, where are you? Paris?
Hang on.
Also, can Artemis and Paris please put like a dot on it? I'm going to say this now. I'm going to turn one of your tokens into a chicken. I want you to decide which of you wants to have the chicken.
I'll be a chicken.
You'll be the chicken. Oh,
You both said it at the same time.
okay. Hold on.
She's more excited for it. Let her be the chicken.
No, I have a better idea. I'm gonna get
Chocobo?
No, I'm going to get one person's going to be a chicken, and I know exactly which one I'm going to be. And then I'm going to make the other person into something else.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I was gonna upload an image, but now I'm kind of more excited for this.
Hold on.
Aurelius slowly pulls out his wrap from the tavern and just starts eating it.
I fucking wish.
Rap.
Spicy.
God, I want
It's his idle animation.
Man, we've been at this for a while. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Chicken is not in the familiars? Dang it. I'll make Artemis an owl.
I roll to summon chicken.
Not 35.5. Artemis, pick a color.
Purple.
Purple. Dark purple?
Sure.
Alright, hold on.
Chicken. That's a dinosaur. I wish I was joking, but no, chicken's a dinosaur.
Yup.
Wow.
Are chocobos dinosaurs?
Yes.
That makes them twice as good. Sorry.
I have something to show to Zark. Hang on. It's the best thing ever.
Games that are really bad, but I absolutely love anyway, include Final Fantasy 15.
Ah! I will fight you.
That's a good picture.
Look, you can break that entire game by using lasagna.
What? What?
Once you get to not Venice, that the only vendor in town is a guy that sells you lasagna, and there's an item you get at the end of the game that you can just crush any enemy into and kill. And for some reason that worked against one of the major bosses in one of the first areas of the game. So if you get that item, go eat lasagna, go back in time, crush that thing, and go rest in the thing. That times everything by 3, and you're just over-leveled for the rest of the game. This is why I love it, because it's so bad and so broken, but in the most hilarious of ways.
Alright.
My favorite fucking glitch is when you can get the fucking guys to be adults in, like, the first bits of the game.
Hold on.
Also,
There's
Hello?
only one thing I need to do here, and when I do it, it is perfect. There's no way that this could possibly go wrong.
Knock on wood.
No way that this could possibly go wrong except for my eardrums.
Chimkin.
It got so loud it cut off.
I need your initiative, by the way.
Oh fuck.
I was gonna say, Paris, you're not fighting?
Is the bird supposed to be me?
Yes.
Yep.
I cannot move it.
Why can you not move it? Please?
I don't know. I can move the token that I put on there, but I can't move the bird.
Drag and drop from your sheet again. It should be the owl, and you should be able to move it. If it does not let you move it, I will change that somehow.
I'm trying to find.
Does it let you move it?
Yes, but now I need to remove the old one.
Yes. Good. Good.
How do I remove the old one?
You click on it and you hit delete, but I did it for you. It is
Okay,
gone.
cool.
Serenity. Oh, you got your initiative. Got it. All right. So 1 second here.
I was on the bottom of the totem pole anyway, so.
But it put you in with the 12.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it switched to 7. It switched to 7 to 8.
There we go.
Well, this is fun and funny. However,
And the original?
and original even, yes. Join. Play.
Oh yeah, we do need music, don't we?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
I didn't remember. That's why I'm like, oh yeah.
It's fine. We don't need it.
There's plenty of battle music, so.
Music is temporary. Doom is eternal.
All right. And I need to add one other thing to this. For me. All right, Aurelius, you are at the top of the
action.
initiative.
Okay. We don't know where your boy is. I know Divine Sense isn't going to work on a Fae.
I think the only people that it does are Oath of the Ancients.
No, this Divine Sense doesn't help with that either. You were informed
Yeah.
of some pitfalls by Artemis.
Yeah.
You would have to make a perception check, which would be your action to try and see them, or let Artemis point them out.
If Aurelius uses his spear to poke at the ground as he walks, would he be able to uncover them?
I say there'd be an investigation check. It would still be a full action to do.
Yeah.
But it would mean that
I'm-
you could use your movement to poke at it while you're moving.
Hold on, let me check if one's higher than the other. No, they're the same, so... It'd be logical for Aurelius to do something like that, though.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Alright,
You
so
tell me.
for RP purposes, I'll just do investigation.
Okay. With advantage.
With oh, okay. I'll just roll again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Hey!
So funny about that. So you start poking at the ground as you're like, and you don't get more than about 2 feet. Almost directly, the line in front of you has this push to it that you, as you see it give way slightly, you realize in front of all of you, if any of you take a 5-foot step forward, you will fall into a hole.
Aurelius could he mark that with his spear?
Are you leaving your spear there?
No, as in like draw like a line in the ground.
I'd say yeah, I'll allow it.
All right, cool. So as Aurelius does that, he looks to Artemis. I think we got a system in place.
Like it. Sorry, I'm
Do you-
eating something.
That's fine.
Also, the light blue, not the light blue, but the blue nearest to you is water. It's a little river that's kind of trickling by. Open the music. Oh, but
Hot.
turn down.
And bonus action doesn't. I don't really have anything I can really use right now.
All right.
Yeah. Round 1. Aurelius versus ground.
Win.
Aurelius
of
wins.
Aurelius. All right. He used his legendary action there, so which layer action does he want to do? Yeah,
oh,
no.
goody, he's got lair actions.
Yeah. There's 4 of you and 1 of him.
I mean, it makes sense. It doesn't mean I gotta like it.
Okay. Well, you're all still quite nestled together. So I need you all to make another Constitution save.
I hate you.
Love you.
Don't worry, I hate me too. That's part of my charm.
How dare you?
Oh no.
Okay. So
Finally.
so Zark, you Aurelius turns like, I think we got an assistant now, and then you hear ba, 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 as you hear this just rapid fire of stuff, and you just hear this ringing in your ears that you're just kind of blinking, just like disoriented. You are deafened.
Okay.
And you take 4 points of thunder damage.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
It's just like, again, it's like firecrackers, just right around all of you. It's like someone took firecrackers and just tossed them amongst you guys. The rest of you are fine. You're able to kind of brace yourselves, but Aurelius was very proud of himself and was like, I'm relaxing a little bit. Oh, God! So that is the layer action. Elizabeth, if you want to try and get over that, you can try and go around it, but you don't know how far side to side it goes, or you can back up and try and run and jump over it, but you don't know how far it goes. So you'd effectively be jumping towards the river. This area here Those dots are to indicate that is a slope that goes upwards. It is difficult terrain if you try and move across it, and it is effectively a climb.
Oh, well, again, I'm glad I have the mobile feet to help me out with this. Elizabeth is, having seen where Aurelius marked it and kind of going, fuck it, she's going to put the crossbow back onto her arm, back up, and try to jump.
Okay. Are you aiming to land in the river or like try and land in the softer ground?
Softer ground.
Okay, make an athletics check. It's not going to be terribly difficult. You've got a pretty good athletics score as well as just good strength score. You can make it easily, just to make sure you don't slip back into the water before you start moving.
Don't I have to make it with disadvantage, though?
Correct.
So, this could go very poorly.
It could.
As long as I don't roll a 1. How about a 14?
14 is good enough.
Okay. So, I'd be over here?
One more square to the right.
To the right.
Yeah.
Here.
Basically, you just pulled back and just ran and jumped.
Okay. And...
you will have to use your action to dash to use the mobile feats, ignoring difficult terrain, just so you're aware.
Oh yeah, I'm going to.
Okay.
That's another 40.
5.
And the gray thing in the middle, is that more like platformy?
That is like a well, you have to get up there.
Would I be able to with my 40?
Yeah, with your 40, you'll easily be able to get up there. When you get up there, it's like a dais, like a rock star sort of place, you know.
So that's all I'm gonna do. Get up there.
With that, I will unlock the fun bits, which are you see.
Oh, I see the girls.
Yep, you see the girls.
I love that they're bearded.
They're not bearded. That's a dress.
It looks like a beard.
I'm aware.
Small.
Yeah.
Look,
it's a
they're all
top-down
just
view.
Torbjorn.
Yeah, they're all just Torbjorn. Yeah, they're all Torbjorn's daughters. And they're like
ready to work.
They're like in a very like elegant seated position. Something else you will note because you're on the dais. What's your passive perception actually?
My passive perception is 13.
Yeah, you'll notice this then. There are also some women who are just kind of like playing in the waters up near a wall. Wall's about like 15 or so feet high, which is the gray. The gray block is the 15 feet high block.
So instead of knowing about 5, there are 10.
Yes. These women in the back, though, they look much older.
So they've been there for a while.
A hot minute. You don't know how long.
Okay.
Or if they've not been here for longer, then they're people who have been brought here as well. They're just older women.
Okay.
You can't tell just by looking at them. Sorry.
She's going to turn around to face where she came from and just yell, "There's more than we thought!" And that's the end of her turn.
Gotcha. Artemis.
Kendall?
Sorry, I put myself on push to talk. Artemis is going to look around, see if there's a way around the river, because she is not good at the jumping. But she will eventually try to jump.
Okay. Are you aiming to try and hit the softer part, or are you trying to like just land over the pit?
Over the pit.
Okay. That will still be an athletics check. In this case, it's trying not to just jump over and fall in the river.
Feel ya?
Okay.
10.
You're the tips of your feet kind of splash into it, and as you do so, you feel yourself teetering a little bit on the edge of this, and you're kind of looking down, and it doesn't seem that deep, but you're also getting a sense of vertigo. Move your token 10 feet up. 2 squares. Yeah, you have the sudden sense of being on a precipice. The water doesn't look that deep. Fey bullshit. Go!
Fun! Yeah, that'll be it.
You still have an action.
Oh.
That was movement.
Well, I'm not really sure what she can do right now, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to hold an action?
Sure.
What would you like to hold?
I don't know, because I'm not really sure what to expect right now.
That's fair. You can also take the dodge action.
What am I dodging?
An attack,
The layer.
potentially.
Okay, I'll hold a dodge action.
Do you want to use the dodge action?
It just
I'll
means that you're
hold.
prepared.
Okay.
You're holding it in case something attacks you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Paris. Serenity.
Paris?
I didn't realize I was not unmuted. My bad. Do. Bonus action, rage.
Engie from Aurelia stepping on toesies.
I'm assuming athletics to jump.
Yes. Paris, you cannot jump straight up there, just so you're aware. That the dots are like an incline.
It's rough terrain.
It's rough. It's rough terrain, and it's 10 feet up. You have to effectively climb up there.
Oh.
So still athletics check to jump over it and land in that, and not just in the river.
Oh wait, I have athlete.
You can climb without expending movement in that case, but you still need to make the athletics check to jump over the river and not land in the river.
No. I just meant for the climbing. I know I needed athletics to.
Yeah, you don't. You actually only need to move 5 feet to get the running start. Yeah, you're fine.
Where can I move then?
So you move. So you can move back basically 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30. Up here. Unless you want to take the dash action.
Do any of these women look hostile?
They look like they are elegantly seated at the moment. Here, Paris.
Oh, we're ping for me again. I'm sorry.
I am pinging. Oh, am I on the wrong layer? I might be.
Yes,
I can't tell.
There we go.
Yeah, fucking I'll take the dash action. I ain't got nothing else to do.
Why are you so far? Okay.
Well, I moved 40 feet to begin with, so if I dash, then I can just hop up in front.
Fair. So you move up towards, like, basically in front of the women, and you're just kind of just looking at them. They're looking up to you with this kind of like this confused, a little bit befuddled expression of just, huh. They're not saying anything. They're just looking at you.
She gives them a gentle smile. And I'll have my axe out, but I'll have it, like, lowered so it's not, actively a threat to the people that are directly in front of me.
Right.
And that's my turn.
Alrighty then. As at the end of your turn is actually his turn. As you hear like this crackling of firecrackers kind of going off. As you hear poof of smoke as he lands, like, oh, that's not very far at all. That's no fun. Ooh, you're near the river. Let's go fishing. And he pulls out what appears to be like almost a fishing rod. and he's going to attempt to use Thorn Whip on Artemis to pull her into the river. You did dodge, so as soon as you see him like pulling his arm back to attack, you dodge. He has disadvantage on the attack roll.
Awesome.
So you avoided the natural 20, but you rolled an 18 on the die. So with all modifiers, I presume he hits.
He does.
Him do 6 points of piercing damage, and he pulls you forward into the river, so move one tile up.
Is that a save against that?
No, it's Thorn Whip.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought it was a.
No, he used Thorn Whip. And so you basically, you kind of feel your toes hit the ground on the other side. It is very clearly loose, and it slides you back into the river. And as soon as you hit the water, you kind of like drop down fully under the water, and it feels like it goes on forever before you pop back up and your head's above water. I need you to roll me a wisdom save.
Okie dokie. I'm also going to say that her scarf fell off in the water now, and there's no going back for it now.
Fair.
10.
You are currently frightened.
10.
You are currently frightened. And
So I'm wet and afraid.
you are wet and afraid. Yes. And
Ooh.
and he's just kind of like laughing, slapping on his knees, like, "Oh man, this is great. Oh man, I missed out on so much. Hold on, I can do things. Well, hold on. Now his turn to do it. Aurelius, it is your turn.
I'm still deaf, aren't I?
Until the end of your turn, yes.
Good thing I don't need to hear to check if my spear is sturdy enough for me to pole vault with it.
Fair. So you want to pole vault with it?
I want to, like, first of all, just Aurelius keeping in mind his own weight plus the weight of the armor.
Right.
Does he feel it is even possible for it to work?
Possible versus probable. Yes, it's possible.
Okay. So if it is possible, Aurelius is going to attempt to do that. Even if it breaks the spear, he knows there's a chance that the forward momentum will still send him forward.
Roll an athletics check.
Yeah. I'm so happy I have the modifier I do. That's a 19, Chief.
All right. It makes an audible as you jump over it, as you realize this is a bit more weight, but I got this, and put yourself 2 tiles up.
Okay. So I'm here now?
Yep.
Alright.
It doesn't look broken. It looks like it is bending a little bit.
Okay. So I could still, in theory, use it as a weapon. Just I'd have to change how I'd utilize it.
A little bit.
Okay. So now there's this stream in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Does it appear deep enough that I could walk through it?
You look down into the river. You get that same sense of vertigo that it doesn't look that deep. You just get that sense of being on a edge of a cliff almost, just that weird disproportional depth.
He did see Artemis like fall completely in, right?
Yeah, you were at the very least submerged.
Yep.
For a moment. He doesn't know
So
how
he's
deep
got
you went.
an idea
He
that
has
it's
he has an idea that it's at
fairly
least,
deep.
Yeah, deep enough to submerge you. Yeah.
Okay. So, the dove is Artemis,
Yes.
right? Or am I? Okay. I thought it was Serenity for some reason.
No, Serenity's
Probably
a sheep.
because. Yeah, it's probably because Serenity calls Artemis Lamb, which is why I thought Anyway.
Meh.
So, I guess in that circumstance, okay. Could Aurelius put out the spear so that Artemis could use it as a way to climb out if they need to?
It doesn't look like you would fully need to unless she tries to go towards the bank that Ripe is on.
Okay.
And she's not because she's scared.
Understandable.
Alright. So, if Aurelius can get in between... Is Aurelius able to get in between Artemis and Old Mate?
And who?
Is that a possible movement option at this point? Or is the movement too...
Are you going to try and walk through the river, or are you going to try and vault again?
I'll try to jump/vault it. Yeah.
Okay. Make another athletics check.
Alright. Athletic. Gow! Yeah, that'll do it.
It is... You hear it bending a lot more. And it's... You could throw it. You're just not certain how accurate it will be at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not certain. I mean, it could still be used. However, you are across the river.
Alright. So he's going to position himself so he's between Artemis and Old Mate. And he's just going to get into a defensive position. He's basically going phalanx formation at this point. Where he has his shield up and his spear over the top outwards. So if he tries to approach, he can act in a defensive manner.
I want to spear the fucking half-goat man into the river, I swear to God.
And that's what I'm... Those two would be in action, or would they be movement?
That's just movement.
Oh, okay. In that case, I will... Is it holding if they attack for a counter attack, or is it...
It'd be holding your action to attack if they attack you.
Yeah, alright.
Or when they attack you, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, spear out, ready. I'm basically doing the XCOM Overwatch situation, where if he moves towards me, I'm gonna, like... Yeah. You know what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
No, you get the idea. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Aurelius over the Watcher.
Cool. All right. Layer action. He's going to glance back and be like, "Oh, cool! Wait, my stage! Get up!" And whistle, and you see the girls get up, and they look at you. Past Serenity to Elizabeth.
And just at me.
At the moment, yes. It's not their turn to move yet, but they're currently alert.
Well, when he does that, Elizabeth had turned around anyways, so she's not aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's aware that Ripe's there now. And a grin's gonna spread across her lips, going, "Yeah, it was your stage. It's mine now."
Hey.
And pull out her hand axe.
Okay.
And throw it at him.
Throw it.
We're all very well lined up here, aren't we?
Yes.
I don't know if that hits.
That will hit.
Okay.
He's got a decent AC. It's just not 17 AC. He gets hit with it. He's like, "Ow!"
And then the axe goes back into her hand, and she grins, going, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did that hurt?" And
a little. It kind of stung. It almost acted like you. I mean, you're throwing it again.
while he's talking, he's gonna throw it again.
Yeah,
She's
throw it
gonna
again.
throw it again. Oh, I know
Aurelia-
this one hits.
When
I mean-
Aurelius is here,
Yeah.
like, sorry, he's no longer deaf, right?
Yes, he is coming
Okay,
out and just
sorry.
hearing. It almost sounds like you're trying to.
Oops, I hit that twice. I don't know why.
Double
Roll
kill.
damage.
I hit the wrong thing.
Damage.
I was trying to hit damage.
Okay. Sorry, I was just making sure I knew what was.
Yes.
Nice. We love Elizabeth in this house.
No!
And Elizabeth just kind of, once it comes back to her hand, kind of going, I'll teach you sarcasm sooner or later. And the grin just gets wider.
Well, I'll teach you Faye bullshit. Ha boy! And he disappears.
Coward.
Seriously.
We're dealing with Faye bullshit here.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that's her turn.
All right. Artemis.
Artemis, we would like to get out of the water, please.
All right, move one token down. Or if you want to, you don't see him anymore, so you can move in either direction. You do know that the ground that Aurelius is standing on is loose dirt. Not stable.
Yeah, she's gonna move. Yeah, she's gonna move next to Aurelius.
Okay. Make an athletics check at disadvantage. It's loose dirt and it is not going to cooperate very easily with you.
It's barely cooperating with Aurelius under the weight of.
Yeah. You get there and it slips out from under you. You go back in the water, and again you just full like you feel yourself go in, and you've fallen into the water before. And normally when you fall into the water, there's like a certain amount of your buoyancy that happens that prevents you from like going all the way under. Sometimes you go all the way under. Your head is submerged, and again you feel that deep expanse, that feeling that this is immense. Goes on beyond where you can see, that the silt in the water is actually further away. Make another wisdom save.
She's gonna come out of this with like agoraphobia. I swear to God.
Very possible. That's not with disadvantage, obviously.
What, the emotional damage?
Emotion or damage. You do succeed as you are able to pull yourself up and go, it's an illusion, I'm okay, it's an illusion, okay. You are. I'll say that you can pull yourself back up. Make another athletics check with disadvantage. You are immune to, if you go back into the water, you are immune to the effects of being frightened until your next turn.
Damn it!
Which is good because you go right back in the water. It's already, you just hear this sploosh, pull yourself up, and then just sploosh comes back up. Damn it!
Yeah.
Aurelius just kind of standing there like, do you need a hand?
Yes.
I'll say that'll be an Aurelius turn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Serenity. You hear just sploosh, and then sploosh. Damn it! But you see the women have stood up. They're at attention, almost marionette-like with their movements.
Doesn't think they're hostile, which is a problem. But I have to act out the character. Pull Artemis up.
Make a athletics check with disadvantage as you slide down, as it is going to want to slide you all the way into the water.
I can't make more of a disadvantage than I already
Yes,
have.
I'm aware.
is it
So
just-
it's just a disadvantage roll. Nothing more added to it.
wouldn't the fact that I have advantage already make it a straight roll?
How do you have advantage?
I'm raging.
You didn't rage last turn.
Yes, I did.
They raged at the start.
They did? Well, you haven't
Yeah.
hit. As a reminder.
I raged last turn. I'm picking her up. I'm biting myself.
What's your strength score?
19.
Make sure you mark off 2 points of piercing damage, which is halved from 4. Oh, sorry, 5, because unarmed strike. So yeah, 15, you're able to stay up there. I'll say you can pull her out.
Artemis just looks like a wet rat. Her scarf has been lost to the water. So
Hey,
her
look.
face and her ears are completely exposed.
She looks at her. Well, at least she's still beautiful, even when soaked to the bone.
You are very, very cognizant when raging. I like that. It's weird.
Well, considering that my rage involves the demon taking over the parts of my body and just making me more impulsive.
Yeah, but you're also, raging, so it's like just different. So at the end of your turn, as you go down, you hear him go, "Push her off! Push her off! Push her off!" As one by one, they're going to try and push you off the dais. So Elizabeth, you just hear that, you're like, oh, he's behind. Then you see one of the ladies come up, and she's going to attempt to shove you. I need you to make me an athletics or acrobatics check of your choice.
And it's at disadvantage.
Yes. Roll better than a natural 1.
I think I can do that.
You're going to be
Yeah,
rolling
I'm
a few
good.
of these. Yep. Yep. Roll another one. Roll better than a natural 1. You are going to be going into dice jail, motherfucker.
No, keep it out!
Got a 2!
That is better than their athletics check because of the natural 1.
Got a 2.
Roll another athletics check. Much better.
he's-
This is what I was waiting for.
Happy
He's
birthday,
less than-
Zark!
Happy birthday, Sarge.
Shut.
Right, so you are shoved 5 feet back.
Okay.
And 5, 10, 15, 20. They're going to attempt to shove you. Make another athletics check.
Oh, this is fun.
Fight him!
I can't. It's their turn.
Yeah.
Fight him right in the ankles!
Oh, this one doesn't matter. It was the same roll either way.
Okay, so,
What?
again.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Do I get pushed off?
No, you beat them on that.
Okay.
And
So I have
just
one
for oh yeah, you were with disadvantage on all that, weren't you?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So yeah,
One more.
one
Okay.
more coming up to push you.
The fact that I've only been pushed back once with disadvantage makes me very happy.
Jinx it!
Oh no, I'm good.
So yeah, you
Yes.
you have all 5 of them come up to they come shove. One of them gets you back 5 feet, and then 2 more come up to try and shove you. You just kind of hold your ground, just like, hey, stop it! You just see him just be like, that's rude, and pulls out some panpipes and just starts playing a little tune on it, just a very thoughtful tune, which is his action. He's thinking. He doesn't know what he's doing yet, because that was
Okay.
them using the layer action.
Mm-hmm.
Aurelius.
Hmm?
Your
Your
turn.
turn.
Artemis, you can move your token right next to Serenity's, by the way, on the right side.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if I could move her, like, behind me, but...
No, you can't.
No, you would be up on the rise and she would slide back down.
okay.
Aurelius is going to calmly walk up to the stage, like Dumbledore said calmly.
Clank, 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 clank.
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
Ah!
Alright, just put your name in the goblet of fire!
Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire? Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
With just your
fuck
movement,
TikTok.
you can get as far as here, in this area.
That's all I need to be.
Easy enough.
All right. Aurelius lifts his sword
Mm-hmm.
towards your boy,
Yeah, boy!
and he's going to compel duel.
Ooh. What's your spell save DC?
15 wisdom.
Hold on.
It says it when you did the spell.
Oh my god, it does!
That's very helpful.
Wow.
Wisdom save, even. He's got a pretty good wisdom. And he has advantage on magical saves. Too bad he rolled an 8 and a 6!
I I'm sorry. The way that he just shattered into rage. Too bad he rolled an 8 and a 6.
Hey, in all fairness, I think I used up all of my luck yesterday with the Vampire the Masquerade stuff, because I'm like, man, I'm rolling really well on this. I'm like, this is going to come back somewhere. No, I used it all in my other game. No, I'm using it all now. All my bad luck's here.
How about you say I used it all? Meanwhile, Artemis is taking a dip in the river 3 times?
Yeah, well, we can't all be so lucky to have potential trauma, Paris. That's great for her character. I love that. I will push you in the river next.
So that's one spell slot.
Yeah, no, he hears the duel as effectively you call out to him, and he kind of like he's playing his melody because kind of pauses, kind of straightens up and looks at you. He's like, "A joust? I'd love to." And he looks. He has that like the ring of magic around his eyes that says he is locked onto you and he can see no one else. It is just you and him in a grand duel.
All
right. Is that an action?
It's a bonus action.
All right. What would you like to do with your action?
Let me check my actions. Oh my god, I didn't think this through. I was like,
Tablet at him.
Aurelius is going to... Sentinel doesn't happen unless it's another target. Just checking my stuff-sies.
Yeah.
Do-woo.
Your stuffies?
Staffus?
Stuffies? Stuffies?
I'm going to prepare Wrathful Smite.
That's also a bonus action.
It is?
Yes.
Damn it.
Yeah.
A lot of the good paladin stuff is bonus actions.
Yeah,
To
well,
make sure
never
you can
mind.
swing and smack somebody dead in the face.
Alright.
Hong Kong, bam.
Wrathful Smite on top of Divine Smite. I hope you feel this. Bonk.
Go to jail.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Alright. In that case, he's going to... No, that's touch. Never mind. I'll just prepare him in a defensive stance, but instead of using his spear, he's pulled out his long boy.
Mm.
You can take the dodge action. Wait a minute. Out of context, this is horrible.
So basically, you just kind of drop the spear and then draw the blade.
He's put the spear on his back and drawn his sword and gone into he's gone into form 3.
Defensive form. I get you. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Unless you turn him blind, you don't get to do that.
What?
Form 3.
Look, I can do I can go form 3 and then switch to form 4 if you want.
Only if
Become
you
the
scream.
monkey.
Only if you scream like an Ewok while you do it.
I'm Ewok,
Yeah.
specifically.
I was actually making a reference to the Obi-Wan
I'm
Darth
aware.
Maul. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not a Star Wars. Well, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I'm not.
That.
Yeah. So your action
Yeah,
is
no.
the dodge action.
His action is he's readying for any attack of any kind, and the goal is when he gets attacked, he's gonna
Counter.
and I mean this not mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean this in a visual sense.
Yeah.
Basically, I want that Dark Souls parry animation.
You're going to attempt that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Here's the fun bit. He leans in and he's going to blow on the pipes, and it lets out this sharp pitch whistle, and you kind of get ready to cover your ears, expecting something deafening. And yes, but also no, as from him, there's this flick of something. Lands right about here. So that would get...
Your ping isn't...
I'm drawing with this. 15. Oh, yeah, no, that'll get all of you. It'll also get
Okay.
these two. As you see a... Pop! I need you all to roll me dexterity saving throws.
Congratulations, you've made Aurelius mad. He still won't kill. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
He's angry. You have advantage because it's a danger sense thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Still not good. Artemis, I'm very glad that you were pulled out of the water. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been happy with a disadvantage deck save in the water.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Someone came in my room.
Dexterity save, as there's an explosion that is sending little sparklers everywhere.
10.
Everyone is hit by this.
Oh god.
Where are my sparkler dice? Sparkler. I only have 2? I have more than 2. Where are you? Son of a bitch. Who has done this? Was it you?
Me.
Why have you done this?
Son of a gun. You thought I was gonna say son of a bitch, didn't you?
I'm sorry. I was fucking hilarious. It's just... You thought it was... You thought it was okay, didn't you?
13 points of fire damage
13.
to
Oh.
all
Awesome.
of you.
Done.
13.
So,
13.
we never put a range on this reaction.
Should be melee.
Wait.
Oh.
Sorry. Would I take more damage because I rolled in that one, or?
No.
No.
It just means that thematically, I mean, if you want something bad to happen, we can make something bad happen.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to roll
love
percentiles. All right. High or low for bad?
Video game logic implies that the lower the percentage, the lower chance you're going to survive.
So low is bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have good news. For you, not Aurelius.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 47, so that is low. It is not you die outright low.
But it's bad.
Yeah. I don't have a D2, so I'm going to roll a D6 and say odds are...
Odds and evens, yeah.
Yep, odds
Why
are...
don't you roll a D2 and roll 20?
I don't want to. I have physical dice. I'm going to roll them. Okay. So this, as the sparklers go up, you are prepared for something in front of you, and so you're like wide open. You feel the fire just, again, it's flicks of sparklers that are just coming, but the heat hits your arm, and you tense. It's your left arm.
Uh-oh.
And
Oh.
you feel you've used the shield a bit, and you feel the wear and tear on it. And as you kind of throw your arm back and pull it forward in pain, you feel the snapping of the straps as the shield falls off.
Okay.
Remember how you say you didn't have to kill anybody?
That's the way of action. Elizabeth.
Okay.
And he's like, what a grand kaboom!
Alright,
Shaking.
so I'll
One,
unequip the shield.
yeah, one of them had collapsed, by the way. He cannot see it. He's focused on Aurelius.
Okay. She's gonna shake off.
Concentration
bit.
save, by the way, Aurelius.
Oh, yeah, so that's wisdom, isn't it?
Con.
No, one save.
Con. Sorry, brain. Alright, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she's gonna shake off the 13 that hit her.
Yep.
And then, not moving too far away, she just wants to get Ripe in line of sight.
Also, the one of the girls in front of you collapsed.
I saw that, and it's just she's like, I'm trying to inch away from the people who were trying to push her away,
Right.
and
Just
she's
a-
kind of
just a
has
smidge.
some anger against Ripe. So
Oh, this actually shows quite a bit. Quite a scope.
I have some anger to work out with you.
just a little. She's gonna, still holding her hand axe, kind of going, "Oh, so you wanted to play? Let's play," and throw it again.
Yeet.
Yeetus.
That will miss.
I had a feeling as such. Okay.
It
When
just
it
flies
comes
and
back,
just whoomp.
okay, let's see if I can do this again. There we go.
That'll hit. That does break the compelled duel, by the way, Aurelius. So that is off.
All right.
Elizabeth went. Why do I keep doing that? I'm so sorry.
Breaking the spells.
No, I keep rolling to hit twice. There we go.
Got
All
it.
right. So with the compelled duel gone, I need to think.
All right.
Sorry.
And she'll.
He shakes his head. He kind of like has that fading of magic from his eyes. For you, Aurelius, specifically. No one else could see the magic. As he kind of like looks at himself, as he sees another wound, he's like, "What the? Oh, not you again! You are actually making me feel attacked. Like that hurt."
You know what? You know, I should feel sorry. I should. But I don't, so I'm gonna action surge. So,
I love the way that was said.
Uh-huh.
nat 20, baby!
Nice. All right.
Again,
He's holding
Elizabeth.
his pan flute, right?
Yeah.
I want to make this a disarming attack.
All right. That's a strength save.
Let me see, to be
Yep.
sure.
Don't bother. He rolled a 2.
Okay, then yeah, I'm making
Dex
this
and
disarm.
strength would not be able to save him. It's not
Okay.
magical. He cannot. So his pipes fall to the ground as he's just looking at you with this look of just as it slams
Okay.
into him. Damage, please.
Oh my god. Okay, that, mind you, this was with critical damage. I rolled 2 1s. And now my D8.
So you did.
I rolled 2 of those
Mm-hmm.
for another 4. Wow, I rolled low. I rolled 2 2s and 2 1s.
And you still get another attack.
Oh, I know. She's getting to finally hit this guy, and she's taking full advantage of it. Almost
That'll
another
hit.
nut.
Yeah.
You may or may not be exceedingly happy.
Just a little. Another 10. Do I get one more, or is that it?
That's it.
Okay,
You-
then yeah.
unless
she's
you
done.
have unless you have the quick toss.
No, I don't have
Battle
quick
Master
toss.
fight. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
So
he,
I'm very happy.
I will say this. He's stumbling a little bit. You get the sense that he is at this point bloodied.
And once the axe gets back into her hand, she'll just kind of grin at him, kind of going, "I'm not sorry."
You're kind of a bitch. And he's going to point at you. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity save. Okay. All this disadvantage is getting on my nerves.
It's not for saving throws, only for skill checks.
Okay, never mind.
That's why your attack rolls have been made fine.
Okay,
It's
hold on.
3 exhaustion points. That's the bad.
Okay, well, it's really bad still. It's 9.
That's not a con save, it's a dex save. But
Dex. Okay.
dex save would be worse for that.
Yes,
yeah.
it would have.
So you are restrained as plants seem to slightly at first made out of stone and then grown into actual plant life rise up and grab hold of you.
So I am now restrained. Okay.
Yes. I'm going to put a big hand on you.
And I am marking it on D&D Beyond. Yay.
So you are currently restrained. Yes.
Big
Okay,
old
we're
hand.
done.
Yeah. So that is all his legendary actions he can do until his turn. Artemis. You're getting real sick of your shit.
Okay. I'm going to use Toll the Dead on him because I'm wet and I'm tired and I'm
You have to
very
get
groggy.
you have to get up onto the hill to see him to cast it.
Ah, damn it. Okay,
You are not frightened, so you can move towards him.
Awesome. Can I move up to here? The green spot right up here?
Yes.
Right there? Awesome. Then can I do that?
Yes. So that would be 10, 15, 20, 20 feet of movement.
Mm-hmm.
Paris, not now. You
What
also
did
do see the downed village girl.
Okay. DC 16.
If he could stop rolling below a 10, he has advantage. He failed.
Alright, that's 12 necrotic.
Yep. As he hears the bells, for a moment he seems to be like elated, and then all of a sudden he curls in on himself. He's like, "No, no, 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 not again! No, 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 not again!"
I know you probably didn't intend it, but I just see a giant smiley face in the map.
I did not, but then when I saw the smiley face, I'm like, I have to keep this. It's just too perfect.
I gotta zoom out.
It's
Oh
where
my
yeah.
god.
it is a big old smiley face.
Hold on, let me move
I am
this
so
around.
happy.
Yeah, she kind of just has her hand extended toward him, her fingers curled in, and her teeth are a bit bared as she does this to him. He probably could have identified that she's the one that did this.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. I hate you.
All right. Is that all you're doing with your turn?
Yeah, she just looks like a wet, drowned rat. Her ears are very prominent now because they stick out more now that her curls aren't kind of covering them.
Gotcha. Serenity.
Okay. Do 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 do.
And don't forget, you're going to spend 10 feet of movement moving through the difficult terrain square.
What's the difficult terrain square?
The dots. What
I
you
thought
are
you said
currently
there's
standing in.
climbing.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Never mind. You're able to do it fine. Never mind. So you can get up.
Excellent. Come here, you little fucking mockery of an imp. I don't have that. Well, that's unfortunate. Reckless. Bonk this.
That's with advantage?
Oh right.
Yeah, that's.
I forgot.
1 level of exhaustion, not 3. So 20 will hit.
Second attack.
That'll hit.
You're the luckiest bastard alive that I do not have my great sword, you little fucker.
It's a shame you didn't take me up on that 2-weapon fighting idea.
Oh, duh, I actually did, because I still have this sickle.
Oh, then use it. You have a bonus action. It's just you don't add your modifier to it. You add the rage.
Your battery's running low, then go on battery save mode!
Kratos.
That'll hit.
Ah, fuck.
So minus
And
4, so that is 5.
Yeah.
All right. He's breathing haggardly, and you get a sense that he is close to just being knock-overable, effectively.
Yeah.
He's on his last legs. As you hit him, because your rage is a little bit more interesting, a bit more cognizant, I will actually make you make a wisdom save at the end of your turn. As he looks up at you, his face is not one of like this gesture joy. He is panicking, and you can feel Invictus just like kind of curling around you, almost just like.
Oh no!
Go on, do it. Push him in the river. Drown him.
Yep.
Drown him like the rat he turned her into. And you're just kind of push back like, I'm in the middle of something. We will think of things later. He still looking very much terrified.
She just growled at him to give up.
Well, you growl that. He is ignoring you. He's panicked and whispering under his breath. I would say, you are the only person who hears this. As he was whispering, I can't give it up. It's beautiful. I can't give it up again. And he is going to... Yeah, he can do that. Thunderwave. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh,
He's farting?
He's farting. Yeah.
Oh, no!
He's giving her... No. He turns around, gives her the blowback as he tries to run away. You are moved 10 feet to the right. He casts this at 2nd level. And so you take 11 points of thunder damage.
World's deadliest fart.
Oh, sorry. As he is going to go behind, effectively full cover from you all, to prevent himself from getting an axe thrown at him as best he can.
Since Elizabeth can't move.
And but you can all hear him like very haggardly rasping out a cough. He does not sound good. Aurelius.
Yes.
It's your turn.
Clank, 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 clank,
Verify.
clank. Aurelius, like walking up slowly.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even say or do anything at this point. His spear. How far does the spear reach? Actually,
It's in your pouch. You have the sword out.
oh yeah, right. Sorry, brain shut down.
Yep.
5 feet. So yeah, no, he can't.
Can't reach him. No.
Yeah. He's just gonna look at him and just say,
You can
You
see
are
like
a-
part of him.
so yeah. Like I can probably see like a portion of him from around the corner, and he's just standing there, and he's just looking.
Yeah.
He's just so
Menacing. You're the menacing presence of like, oh, I'm gonna get you. Oh, I'm gonna get you.
They're playing peekaboo.
Kinda.
at this point he just kind of looks to him and says, I don't see how anyone could ever want to be an audience member of yours. You are pathetically cowardly.
Oh.
I don't know how you have the strength to get upon a stage.
I will say, you do not see this.
Okay.
So this is something you don't see. As you approach,
He is-
he has closed his eyes, and he was listening to the sound of your armor as you approached. And despite everything you are saying, he is listening with rapturous attention. You don't see this, though.
Yeah, no, Aurelius is purposefully trying to bait him out.
Of course.
Yeah.
I can't do that again, so it would be... got it. Sorry, ladies. I need you all to make me a con save.
Okay, really, this feast or famine needs to stop.
Oh, no.
I didn't ask for this.
Okay, good. But all bad for one. So you see those sparkling of that thunderous echo. You see the girl who is down. Her body kind of jerks slightly at the sound. All the other girls kind of rattle a bit, but they don't move. One of them kind of like flinches and shifts a bit, but doesn't react beyond that. Elizabeth.
Well, there's nothing really she can do because she is restrained. So
You can make
there...
a strength or dexterity saving throw to try and break free or slip out.
I'll do strength.
Is there any way any of us can help her become unrestrained?
It would be on your turn.
Okay.
And she broke out.
Okay.
So you
So
are free.
Okay, give me one
That is your
sec
action,
here.
just so you know.
Oh, I know.
You two sides playing peekaboo.
You got a Dark Souls character and an Assassin's Creed character on both sides.
Hey, we heard you had a bank account. You want to give us a little bit of change?
Yeah,
We're here
and
to talk about your car's extended warranty.
warranty. And Elizabeth
Lord.
with the axe in hand, kind of looking a little manic.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of going, "You can't run from me, Ripe. You know you can't."
All right.
And that's the end.
Cool. Artemis.
Okay, so Artemis is going to walk here. Yeah, right here. Making her movement. Right. Yeah, right there. And she's going to call out to him with her one hand raised. She knows he can't see her, but she heard him coughing, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, she's going to call out, release them and let them go back, and I will heal you.
Okay.
And she's going to... Can I hold an action?
What action are you holding?
I like to hold another dodge action.
You can do that.
Cool.
All right. That's your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Serenity.
Paris?
I'm here.
Okay.
You're here. Yeah.
There's a lot of rolling through my head because of Evictus now.
Strike the match, light the fire, burn, baby, burn. Hold on. Question about your pathing. Do you go through the water or try to go through the water?
Elizabeth's blocking your way.
I'd be trying to go around the water. How the fuck do I?
If you're trying to go around the water, you have to go all the way
Elizabeth.
around. Yeah. And Elizabeth is blocking your way.
Hang on.
Nope.
Ping where the fuck I was for me. I'm sorry, I already forgot.
Press Control Z.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me.
Just Gary's mod your way through Elizabeth.
Nope.
Just climb over her.
Okay, so I was there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is that bubble?
That is a pillar, a column. It's a
Like
stage.
ancient Greek.
Yeah, it's a stage.
Like, can I pass through, like, people, allies,
Elizabeth
spaces?
is blocking the square, is what she said.
Ah, okay.
Elizabeth is manic and is basically like, I'm getting my hands on him.
Okay, yeah, I'll go through the water.
Then go back to the first square you would touch the water. Which would be right, I'd say here, we'll say. We'll be generous. Let's move back to there real quick. Just to see if we can get you two there first. Do I need a ping for you again? Yeah, I'll do it myself. Can you roll me a wisdom save, please? Serenity.
Paris.
Oh, her mom probably came in to yammer at her. It happens sometimes. However, when it's on her turn, Mother, please, we are in the middle of fighting a fey imp.
I like how the two, like, major, like, edgelords.
So my computer decided to take my ignoring of its battery being low personally and acted accordingly.
Do you need me to roll you a wisdom save?
Excellent. Watch me fail this one again.
Correct. You are charmed, and I'll say you can still make the rest of your movement there. When you get up to him, he's hurt. Your friend is hurt. What?
To be fair, she was ironically not going into that hostile.
Yeah, no, but again, you are charmed. He is your friend. He's a very good friend, and he is hurt. He's injured.
Serenity, I hate you. I hate what you are. I hate what you are with all of my being. It's not much. Give him 5 hit points back.
You remember the change that happened, right?
Oh, what was the change? Hang on, let me look that up.
D4 is equal to your proficiency bonus.
Ah.
So if you want, you can use that instead.
Yes.
It's a potential.
Is it all collectively at once, or?
At once, yes.
Okay.
Still 5. So yeah, that's about what it should be. The average would be around about the same. Yeah.
No, when the average would be 9.
Of 3d4?
The average of a fucking dice roll for Roll20 and shit is not like the actual half of the die.
Yeah, but it's half, and then it's also half plus 1, so it's basically half 0.5. So around 5 is actually correct.
What math are you doing? Fuck it.
They round up for a lot of the stuff. Believe me, I know. It's the most cross your eyes, hope to die kind of bullshit. But he gets back 5 health.
Please don't make the rest of my group hurt you more.
Is that your turn?
Cotton wouldn't be happy with that.
Is that your turn?
Yep.
Okay. He's breathing heavily. He's like, it wasn't enough. It was never enough, and I'm now paying the price, and I can only do so much. I can't give it up. I can't give it up. He is panicked, and he's going to take the dodge action.
All the music changed, by the way.
I don't know how it changed, and why it is this calm little bit of music. It is incorrect. I require Rend the Heart music. Not like Rend the Heart sadness. Rend the Heart, rip his heart out music.
I mean, he is kind of in a pathetic state, and 2 out of 4 of us, 2.5 out of 4 of us are somewhat sympathetic to this man.
Yeah, you don't want Elizabeth getting to him.
Oh no, I'm not sympathetic to him.
1.5.
Just the sound of it disconnecting.
Ripe has left the chat.
All right, bye.
He's like, I know where I'm not wanted.
All right, Aurelius.
Sorry, I was dying. Okay, what can I do? I should have really thought this through beforehand, but like... Okay. Aurelius... let me check the effects of Dreadful Aspect real quick. Okay. So... Aurelius is clank, 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 clank. And he's not aiming to kill him.
You're gonna knock him out.
but to keep him trapped in place.
Okay. You want to like basically attack to incapacitate?
Basically.
Roll an attack roll.
Oh wow! With my oh wait, what?
With
What?
your sword of the
Longsword. Found it.
long.
Found it. Stop looking.
No. Never.
Now we're
Never.
just gonna look harder.
Ooh.
That'll hit.
All right. And since it's
Non-
two-handed now, that is, it
Yeah.
is a shield's fallen off.
Yeah.
That's the D10, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. You slam him into the pillar, and he coughs heavily, and he is not unconscious fully, but he is definitely he's out. He's not going to be able to fight back at the moment.
Okay. Aurelius will say, if you release them... No, wait. No, hold on. Let me take that back. If you want a true audience, an audience that truly cares instead of whatever mind games you are playing with these people, show it through your skill as a player, through your courage as a player, not through magical means. Because this is not a true audience. This is a illusion, a trick of the light. Be better than this. Release them.
I didn't have a choice. If I don't have someone with eyes on me, if I don't have someone listening, He looks up at you, and he's shaking against your arm. And as he's muttering this, there is a shift in the air. And I'm going to see if I can... I'm trying to find a good music for this. Well, let's go to you. You look like you could be fun. There's it's like a snap to the air. You were told that this area currently has the Winter Court placing its hands on the world of the Feywild, whereas the Summer Court has summer is coming for you, winter is coming for them. However, the feeling and the wave of energy that washes over you all is that of spring. A feeling of growth of energy. You almost feel this sense of strength. Hey, shut the fuck up. Not you guys. My computer's like, free up storage space. Shut the fuck. Leave off. I'm in the middle of something. We will get there when we get there.
Fine. I'll leave.
Not
I get
you,
it.
you're
I
fine.
get it.
Aurelius walks away holding the centaur or whatever it is in his hand.
The centaur.
Satyr.
Satyr.
Sorry.
Satyr.
Right.
We're all just gonna go jump
they
in the
both
water and
start
not
with
come
the-
back.
I just called him an
Artemis
imp
has-
'cause he's got hairy legs.
Artemis has become a frog now.
Yes,
Ribbit.
I live here now.
Sorry.
The energy that you feel, again, it's this very spring energy. It's very lively, alive feeling. And none of you are close to the dais. But you hear the gentle scrunching of grass, of someone walking in. And you're focused more on Ripe at the moment. So you don't see any of this until you hear whoever this is speak. Time's up, Ripe. And you can see Ripe just physically, all muscles tense. Artemis, you are the person who would be closest. As you turn around, you kind of feel your heart stop. Fully. As the person standing behind you has this splay of almost like a foliage collar to a grassland cloak almost. Ears sharp to points that almost go out to their shoulders. Like yours, but far harder to conceal. Far more poignant. Far more full-blooded, if you will. Their hair is shaved on one side, and the other side is kind of like pulled up in like a kind of a faux hawk kind of style. Their eyes are this vibrant amber as this full-blooded elf walks past you. And walks around the pillar and just kind of looks down at Ripe. Who, again, they're not looking at whoever has just come up, they're just kind of staring down at the ground, just with this look of shame, this look of terror, and this look of just almost this get it over with expression. By the way, this person who has shown up, they're not very tall. You guys are not, huge people. However, they're... I'm trying to... Which one of you... Who's the shortest among you? Just so I can...
This is 5'2".
Artemis.
5'2"?
Artemis.
Okay. They might actually be closer towards Artemis's height. But not by much. Yeah, they're like 4'10" at most. They're a short elf. Well, not short elf. There's actually shorter elves, but they're short. They're looking up at Serenity and Aurelius. And they're even looking up a little bit at Ripe. Ripe looks terrified.
Aurelius will let go of him and take a step back out of respect.
Can I move in front of him?
Yeah, you do. And they look at you and they say... They don't say anything. They just kind of look at you and just have this very soft, sad smile. You can't take it for him. I have to take back what he did not earn. Please step out of the way.
Will the women here be returned?
Should be. I don't see why they wouldn't be. They have my permission to leave, although I will walk with you to ensure that they are out of here safely. You were told that to have what was lost returned, you needed to gain eyes upon you and have yourself be heard. I didn't mean this. You have made this my fault. I am the one who has to pay for this. You hear Ripe sputtering, and he switches fully into Sylvan as he's muttering and sputtering, and
Can I hear him?
you can hear. I'd say you at this point would have been able to move a little closer to see what's going on if you are
All right,
wanting
right
to.
here? Right there?
Effectively, yeah. You hear him.
Okay, there.
You hear him saying, "It's the only thing that made sense. I mean, bring them here. All I have to do is bring them in the pond, and the pond will let them. They'll never have to age. Their eyes will always be on me. I'll be able to sing, and they'll be able to hear me, and I'll be able to. I'll have my eyes back. I'll be able to hear again. I did everything that was asked of me." And this elf just nods and says, "You missed the point, Ripe. And I have to take back what was given to you because you have failed to understand. You will be given another chance, but I have to punish you for what you have done." And you see him pull out like a dagger, like a stiletto, like almost like a giant pushpin. And Ripe just kind of stares at it as they take it to the air, and for a brief moment, they twist it. And even those of you who have no practice with it, you've heard people vaguely describe magic as a weave, having threads and being able to intertwine it to create spells and effects. You watch this elf say nothing, do nothing more than twist this knife and pull their arm back, and you can visibly see threads of magic coming from the tip of this dagger as they pull. And you see Ripe fall to his knees sobbing as his ears kind of droop down, and he just sobs.
Aurelius puts his sword away. He picks up his shield. And he just waits for everyone else.
Oh no, the charm effect goes away.
Oh, thank God!
Yeah. Yeah,
To be
no.
fair, I don't think her actions would change because this is
No,
somebody crying.
as soon as the wave of spring energy came through, the charm effect washed off of you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I will say that
with everyone else.
any other magical effect, yeah. You do hear sobbing from behind you, though. I'll get to that in a moment. As for you, Paris, as you look at Ripe, Ripe's eyes have glossed over. As you realize that Ripe is blind.
And death.
I'm sorry?
I said, and death.
And deaf, yes. He had a malady growing up, but he had potential. And now he has to work for it again.
Just hold on to him.
Yeah, he doesn't lean against you. He doesn't move. He's basically like almost struck dumb, as well. I'd say after a minute, you hear the elf just kind of like ear twitching, and then twitching more, and then just like, what is that? What is that noise? As he leans around, you can hear more sobbing from the other side of the pillar.
I'm looking around the pillar.
Elizabeth is turning around to see where
I'm
the sobbing is coming from.
You
I'm
see,
assuming Aurelius sees all the women.
you see them have they're surrounding the one who was downed, and you can faintly hear them saying, "Come on, get up. Okay."
Where's the one that's downed?
The one at the top,
Which
there's a marker on it.
All right, cool. Are we still in combat?
No,
Or can I just
you've
walk
been out
over?
of combat
Yeah.
since the spring
Yeah.
washed in.
Awesome. Can I walk over?
You can walk over.
Cool. And can I do cure wounds on her?
You walk up, you place your hand on her, you push the healing energy into her, and you feel it out, and as you do so, you pull your hand back and you feel the evocation magic fall away. She is lifeless.
She died.
No one stopped to do anything. She lost a death save due to the thunder, and she failed 2 death saves.
I'm sorry. I need to interrupt for a sec.
Yep.
Is it my headphones, or are you going
He
crazy?
was a
no,
little
buddy.
robotic. He went robotic.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
I need to leave and come back?
No, you're fine
you're
now.
good now.
I don't know what happened. The robots are
Alright,
trying
you're
to
good
take
now.
over. Yeah.
It just goes in and out, and sometimes I think it's my headphones, but okay, cool.
Did you hear what I
Artemis is just
said?
gonna. Yes,
Yeah.
she is dead. And then she failed death save.
Mm.
And Artemis is just gonna sag a little bit there and push her hair back, like hair back with her hands. She'll look up at the other girls and just hold out her hand. I'm sorry. She's gone.
Aurelius is gonna step towards and sort of kneel beside her and gently close her eyes. And he says he's speaking in uh celestial, but he doesn't know what he's saying.
What is he saying?
It's basically
It's
a
fi-
death prayer,
A
basically.
final rites sort of prayer.
Yeah. And it ends with rest forevermore in peace. And he stands up and he looks at everyone else to check if anyone else is hurt.
I am at half health.
One of the girls has a little bit of hearing problems for a little bit, but she only took a point of thunder damage.
Okay.
It was just that one who was caught up in failed her save and was knocked out, and then was in the thunder, and I couldn't roll above a 10, guys.
I thought you were supposed to put those in dice jail.
I did, and I got out a new dice, and they also could not roll above a 10.
Wow. Okay.
I tried. I tried to give her a chance for you guys to get to her. I swear.
Seeing what's going
We're
on,
not blaming you.
Elizabeth. No. Yeah, seeing what's going on, Elizabeth is gonna put her axe away, and the manic is gone, and her head drops, and she kind of shakes her head a bit and starts mumbling to herself that I couldn't help, I couldn't help, I couldn't help, just over and over again.
You see the 5. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Aurelius will take his holy symbol and lay it upon her for a moment, just so that her spirit and soul can, or at least in his mind, travel somewhere that is not the abyss, please.
Please, no go to the abyss. Basically, effectively Paris. What his funeral rite was. If the heavens are busy, may there still be a guide to take them to the arms of Aitse.
Is there like an end part to that prayer?
Effectively, a reaffirmation of, I second this. Effectively, you're affirming that I am also voicing this to someone.
Corellis could hear Zerdy say something in a similar-ish language.
If it's ritualistic, he will.
Yeah, it's ritualistic.
Know it.
That he'll know that that's the next part to that. Paris. High or low?
Hi.
64.
Why?
You feel a soft wind almost brush against your cheek. There's no wind in this place besides that pop of the spring air. And that was not a wind, that was a wave of magical energy. This is an actual wind that brushed your cheek. You look around, there's nothing around that would have caused this. There's nothing there. And as you look down, you see, as these girls are crying over her body, when Aurelius pulls back the holy symbol, you see her clothes shift as it would with being moved. And then you see her hair kind of have a little puff, as though something brushed against her cheek. We'll get to more of that later.
I mean, Serenity looks clearly confused at something, but other than that, yeah.
Artemis is going to look over at the elf that joined them. Thank you for giving them permission to leave.
I'm aware of the rules of our home, and they kind of pause for a second. They look at you, it's like they're clearly doing like this calculating, processing thing, and they points to you, like, you have a very summer look to you, but I don't know which family are you part of?
She's going to kind of squint and tilt her head a little bit to the side. I'm sorry?
I mean, you're rather young, but your ears are a little bit short.
You're
not from.
I'm not from here. I'm not from here.
Kind of like puts a hand to their chest for a second with this look of just like, I am Fenrin Ashgard, and you are
Artemis.
kind of like tilts their head slightly, just kind of with this almost waiting, kind of like.
That's it. That's all I am.
Do you have a family name?
Not one that I own.
Can I have the one you don't? No Feywild shenanigans here. Genuinely asking.
She pauses for a minute and looks a little thoughtful, like she's trying to remember it for a minute, and then looks over at them again and says, Lyodon.
I hear that last thing, come to think of it.
What?
She said it before.
She said it before.
Hadn't she only said it to one person in a room, though?
Gadai, you were there.
Yeah, we were all in that room when she said it.
I thought it was we were waiting outside the room and then Serenity had left.
Listen,
Nope.
Serenity knows her name. Serenity knows her name.
Gilliard owes me 100 gold. You are alive. Your family is alive. Kind of puts their hands to the head just with this look of just, oh my god.
Artemis is just gonna stare.
Some of the other families thought when things were going south but you're not. Clearly you're alive. Oh, did they have to get with humans? Ooh, did they have to get with well, I mean, there's some cute humans out there. I'm saying this out loud. Let me escort you out of here.
That would be appreciated. What do you know of my birth family?
That was an excellent question.
The Leodin. Please tell me if I'm saying that wrong. Leodin?
Yeah, sure.
Leod and
I've only ever seen it written. I've never heard anyone else pronounce it.
The Leodin family is. Oh man, I had a friend who knew a Leodin. Quick-witted people, very smart. Sometimes too smart for their own good. Walk, and you see the other 5 women come to help the girls and try and help carry the one among them as they were walking forward.
I'll pick the body up.
They kind of don't crowd you, but they almost hover near you. Not understanding, but aware.
Aurelius is close by to provide comfort where he can, if he can.
It's also
Elizabeth stays near the back.
Gotcha. By the way, their name is. They introduce themselves as Fenrin Ashgard. I'll make sure you have that name spelled out.
The Ripened family, they actually made a few studies into bits of magic that we still use today. At least 3 generations back did. I don't know what the current generation is doing. I haven't been out of the Feywild in the last... It's been a while. Say almost 600 years at this point. It's a small spit in the giant pond, but you know how it is.
How old are you exactly?
Oh, I'll be coming on my 900th year. In the next 2 decades.
What are you?
I'm an elf. Can't you tell? I'm a spitting image. Like motions to Artemis, who has the smaller ears that are concealable, slightly taller. They're human features that can be more passable, whereas this is clearly not otherworldly, but unhuman.
Very sharp.
Very sharp. Very
Yeah.
slightly not, I wouldn't say animalistic, but very like has the animal features of like being very sharp and very built for a world of like woods and forests.
In my defense, we are in the Feywild.
Oh no, believe you me, if you meet a Fey, you will know. They will look nothing like me. And most of them will go out of their way to listen to what I say.
I'm saying that I have hallucinated far weirder than an elf in the Feywild, so I need to make sure.
They look at you
I've
for a
only
moment.
been here an hour.
Yeah.
Or at least what we perceive as an hour.
It's been a little bit, like at least a couple minutes.
Where is
I don't know.
Cotton?
Cotton is at the entrance, and it is like as they approach, like Cotton falls to their knees and like full nobility, head to floor bows.
Come on.
And Fenrin will just kind of walk forward. They do a suitable bow and be like, "Please rise." And Cotton kind of scurries and pushes himself up and looks to him. And they kind of motion back. It's like, "They're back there. They're going to need time to recover." Cotton just nods, looks past, looks at you all, and just kind of winces like, "I have to..."
Go on.
"Thank you." And they will run past to tend to Ripe.
Meanwhile, Artemis is still walking alongside. I'm sorry, what was the name again?
Fenrin. It's in the
Fenrin.
it's in the chat.
Cool. She's still walking
What is this
alongside
chat
him,
you speak of?
kind of waiting for an answer.
To your family, they were instrumental in the building of what was it? It's one of the great spells, I believe it's called. They had bits of knowledge involving manipulations into the progression of the time wall.
Oh, what?
The time wall. Everything moves forward. You can't move backwards. Physically, you're moving backwards, but in time, you are moving forward. There's no stopping that.
Pretend you're speaking to somebody who does not know elven history or magic.
Imagine you are on a boat.
Okay.
And you are moving forward down a river. You can paddle backwards physically, but the river will keep moving forward in spite of you moving backwards.
So it's like a ship with a sail.
Yes.
And
The wind will blow.
oars.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
There are no oars to take you backwards and whatnot. It's a little thing they used to say. You can only move forward in time. If you try and go backward in time, the time wall will take care of you.
So basically
Not
it's
in a
inevitable,
good
not
way.
fighting.
Not in a good way. Think of it like falling out of the boat into the current and being swept downriver. Quite a unpleasant experience. Yes, is a good good expression for it. Especially if you come across a tumultuous time. They equate it to rapids, where you fall into a bunch of rocks and you have to hope that you survive and don't slam yourself against one of them and get caught up in the midst of some kind of conflict.
Oh, I've heard horror stories about rapids, so yeah.
You see you see Aurelius just standing there thinking back on all the myths and legends he's heard of, like warriors going back in time only to die in battles, like heroes fading in and out of time, basically.
Yes.
And he's like, oh,
yeah.
that's real?
Oh, yes. It's why you cannot go backwards in time. There are, I would say they're human fables, but I've heard Goliaths speak of them, and I think there have been a few Furbolg who walk the Feywild who have discussed them, but I see them every couple decades or so it's hard to tell with them. They tell great stories, but they have better wine. Wine is absolutely wonderful. I'm using the wrong accent for this man. I am sorry.
Have you by chance tried rum?
It's been a hot minute, but I mean, if you got some rum, I'd be happy to take some of it.
I wish I had rum on me.
I don't have rum, sadly. I do. He kind of reaches back, and there's like a pouch behind him, and he reaches in, and he reaches down and twists himself a little bit to push his hand deeper, and you realize his hand should not go that deep. And
what are you doing?
And then he pulls his hand back up, and he pulls out a pretty big bottle of wine, and he kind of turns it over, dusts it off, and looks at it. It's just like, it's about 400 years old.
Is that a mega pint? Is that a mega pint?
No. This is what is referred to as a generous liter.
Okay.
However, it still needs some time. Shoves it back into their bag. Sorry. If it was about 3 decades from today, I'd say it'd be great, but...
Don, question. And because I'm stupid with alcohol, please feel free to laugh at me. Does Chardonnay exist?
Congrats. I don't know. Hold on.
You're asking the non-alcohol drinker if Chardonnay exists in this world?
Well, apparently he goes through enough trouble to make up wine, so...
As someone that knows a little bit about alcohol,
Yep.
it probably does, but not in this region.
Yeah, no, that'd be
more Mediterranean.
Yeah, that'd be more of a across the seas islander sort of thing.
Yeah, because like even rum, like that'd be something that's more commonly produced in sugar refineries. So on the coastlines, you'd probably find more common frequencies and cheaper prices for rum.
Yeah.
Don? How good was the alcohol the church had?
As far as you were aware, exquisite.
Church is always a cheap wine.
As far as Aurelius is concerned,
yes,
trash.
Good churches use cheap wine.
Yes.
Paladin order churches, however.
Being fair, Aurelius is technically right. It always would be like, man, this is cheap trash compared to rum, something that actually had some kick to it.
Yeah.
If do you ask them for the bottle to have a swig?
Yeah.
Elizabeth holds her hand out silently for it.
Aurelius is happy, like not having any. It's okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite trust just yet.
Yeah, they kind of like look back to you all, kind of shrug, like, I told you it's got a few more decades to age, but if you're sure you want it now, they offer it to you.
You do not understand the swill that I have drank amongst soldiers. She'll take the bottle for Elizabeth can and chug a part of it.
Make a con save.
Aurelius just stands there. Behind his metallic face, you just hear the blink, blink anime sound effect.
I swear before Almighty God.
This is like Comey, where like his face just suddenly becomes chibi.
To be absolutely fair, Serenity has been hypnotized twice and blinded. I'm pretty sure she'd love some alcohol right now.
Like she deserves it at this point.
Yeah, of course. But at the same time, what color is your skin?
It's cocoa. It's the best way I can describe it.
Okay, you become a
rich in the face coloration. You get a lot of just blush to the cheeks, as it were. Is you just like, whoa. That once, like, it, on a scale of 1 to 10, you've never had anything like this. This is like taking all the different flavors that you're used to expecting and then saying, I have been eating out of the trash after it was already chewed on by something else and left to age for several weeks.
He looks at the bottle. Here you go, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth kind of arches a brow at Serenity as she takes the bottle and
I need a con
takes
save.
a swig.
Yeah.
I was already trying to get my thing to low.
Yep.
And while they're doing this, Artemis is going to put her hand on her chest and cast Cure Wounds on herself.
So 24.
24. You barely succeed. As you feel the heat, and you've got a little bit of color, but you're able to be like, this is fucking good shit.
She'll kind of look at the bottle going, huh. And just kind of hold it back to the elf. Thank you.
They take it, they hold up a hand like, no, you've already drank out of it. It's yours.
Oh.
I've got several more pints chilling.
How is Serenity looking in terms of battle damage or like wear and tear?
I am at half health.
Bloodied. They're a bit of a stagger to their step. The rage has come down and they're clearly feeling their injuries. Most of it's not like cuts and stuff like that, though. It's a lot of...
It's internal bleeding.
That's where all your blood's supposed to be.
Not when it's getting into my lungs.
No, not when it's getting into your lungs.
Alright.
So every now and again, it probably coughs and you see blood.
Yeah, seeing that, Aurelius is going to... would lay on hands be better or cure wounds?
Up to you.
Probably
Depends on
cure
how you're
wounds.
laying the hands.
I'm gonna use cure wounds.
My property.
Okay.
At second level.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so Aurelius just kind of like taps her on the back, like coughing, like as she's coughing, just kind of like a boop. There you go. And somehow it helped.
You can just
Clank, clank,
see
clank,
her
clank.
blinking.
Fenrir kind of looks over the armor you're wearing, and there's like, it's not a scoff, it's like more of a, I see the dwarves are still at it, huh?
I mean,
Don't get me wrong, there's some mighty fine craftsmen. They're some of the best I know. Or knew, rather. We don't have any of them in here, in the Feywild and whatnot. Great people, some of them. Could drink some people under the table, some of them. I mean, it looks good on you, at least. They got it your size. How tall are you? God, who fed
like
you?
6 something.
Who fed you?
I am 6 foot.
Whoever fed you did a good job. I only know a few people your size.
Aurelius trying to think back to who fed him.
I actually know someone who's bigger than him.
Nah. I mean,
Same,
from
actually.
Goliath?
No, he's human.
What in the hells?
As far as I know.
Well, to be fair,
Okay.
the one I know is half orc, so...
Oh, at least that makes sense. Orcs are great and valiant entities who are deserving of the stature they have been gifted.
She
Look,
points to Elizabeth. 1. If that bottle is empty, when we get back to wherever the hell we're resting, I'm gonna shove the whole thing up your ass. I want more of that.
I just put it in my bag, Serenity. That's all I did.
Alright.
Can
no,
I-
you're
Can
sneaky.
I tell how drunk the both of them are?
Also, don't forget, Paris, you are carrying a dead body.
Yeah.
She can like point a finger.
Yeah, I'm making sure you're aware. I'd say that
Yeah, no,
just
she's
from a
aware.
precursory look at her,
I have a passive perception of 17.
She's at the very least rapidly approaching buzzed. It will probably be only buzzed and not full on drunk, unless she drinks more.
Okay.
And that's why Elizabeth put the bottle away. No drunk serenity while carrying a body.
Yeah.
No
You
drunk serenity
are-
while we're in the Feywild.
Yeah.
You are sneaky, so I do not think that you would not be incapable of drinking it while looking away. Second of all, she points to, oh god, I know their name is Fenrin.
Yep.
Fenrin.
My
How is
mouse
she
is-
pointing?
You know how, like, if you're carrying something, you just point a finger
I
in
just
that
imagine
general
that she was.
direction?
I just kind of imagine she ended up moving the body to over her shoulder like a sack of
No,
potatoes.
no. I've actually done this while carrying someone bridle. You can point. It's just really subtle.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Potatoes.
you ever meet my master, you will tell he's immediately human. He is just a freak of nature that's like 6'5", 6'6".
Aurelius chimes in at this. If I'm being quite honest, I'm actually average size for most people of my my
Race.
my race. I'd argue class as well. You know, my and when I say that, I mean like those trained in what I'm trained in.
I have met far shorter paladins.
Really?
Then again, I am also somewhat oversized for a female paladin.
Damn.
Artemis is gonna make a little pointing gesture. I've met several elves taller than him.
I'm not
Oh no, elves.
exactly
We're talking.
tall.
We're speaking of like human.
Yeah, humans and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I haven't seen a human in like, what'd I say? I think I said like a couple
400 years.
Nah, I think I said like, did I say 4? I thought I said 6. It's
You
in
said
that
6.
range.
You said 6. You said 6.
It's in that range.
Are we continuing to walk
We're
back?
We're walking.
Yeah, we're
while
walking
talking.
while we're doing
Yeah,
this.
We're walking while talking.
But yeah, Elizabeth will kind of just chuckle, kind of going, most of the people I used to work with were taller than me, and most of them were human.
It's not hard to be taller than you.
I am taller than the average woman, thank you very much.
Yeah,
By,
she's
like,
quite tall.
Looks at Serenity.
By,
She's
like,
only 2 inches,
inches
taller than me.
She will actually go by like 2 inches. You are.
And Serenity is not human.
Technically, I count as a human. Thank you very much.
No, she's human.
Elizabeth's just being a shit right now, trying to get her mind off things.
Aurelius is
am
very
a-
much being snarky back.
I am 100% human. I just happen to have a minute drop. Something else.
I'd argue you're more human than I am.
No.
I feel like I should give the bottle of wine to Artemis to hold, so
I will
she can
not-
keep it away from you.
I will not fight you for that bottle. Not yet.
Artemis might throw it at someone. We don't know. It's Artemis.
Honestly, she gestures with her head to Elizabeth, is more likely to use that as a weapon.
Yeah.
Artemis throws rocks, and glass is just a really deadly rock.
It is, and there's also the option of me pouring it out.
Please, no.
Elizabeth makes a show of kind of hugging her bag a little bit closer to her, going, yeah, that's
Love.
not going to happen.
And
Love,
keep it in your bag.
I've been hypnotized twice, blinded, concussed.
Yeah, and I was deafened.
just-
You don't hear me complaining.
You can't hear it all. Wait, can you?
Now.
I can now.
Artemis is just looking at all of them and then occasionally glancing back to Fenrin.
Fenrin's
She has like
looking at you
50
all.
questions.
Yeah.
So many
Fenrin's,
questions.
Fenrin's watching you all and just kind of goes, your coping mechanisms with grief are quite odd.
You don't want to see my actual coping mechanism.
Oh, you don't want to see mine either.
Oh, you weren't close to the girl you came here. Then why'd you come to protect her? If she was someone
Because
else's, then why not?
Because they're children.
Yes, then
It is
why did
my
their parents
duty.
not come?
Because they weren't capable.
We were.
I've seen
was-
many capable farmhands and stout sheep herders alike. You're saying none came?
We
Let's
didn't
just-
let them.
let's just say I really, really wanted to punch Ripe in the face, and that was my only reason to push everybody else aside and be here first.
Aurelius
We-
kind of explains in as as simple terms as he can that Ripe broke the laws of our lands through acts of kidnapping and coercion, and it was our duty, or at least he's presenting it this way, to return what was stolen.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
Where did I put my persuasion? Oh my god.
Trini just kind of like slurred. To be fair, I was trying
What?
to get close with one of the girls.
Aurelius!
Oh,
I was hoping maybe saying that would give you advantage to say before you roll, but
I'll allow it. Roll once more. Roll
You
once
get
more.
another
Jack.
roll.
Persuasion. That one, yeah.
Okay,
It's
I was
better.
like, that's better. They're not fully invested in it, but they seem to be like, I think I get the sense that they were at the very least convinced that the violent one would take care of the violent action. Got it.
Artemis is just going to look over at Fenrir and say, I don't appreciate when people steal children,
Nobody does.
which
I
is
mean-
why we're here, because I was calling out for him to return with them, and Miss Cotton found us, and she kind of switches to Sylvan just for them, and I couldn't stand for it.
I imagine that. Well, I can see that. I'd say it's laid
Can I
in,
just-
but I'd say that's 100% you.
Can I just say that your language is absolutely beautiful?
it's very confusing.
Appreciate it. I actually know a few others, but I'm not as fluent with it as I am with the Sylvan tongue.
Oh, do you know the divine language?
That one's beautiful as well.
They say in Celestial. I'm not as practiced with it as I am with a few other languages, but it definitely has a rhythm to it, a nice melody, as it were.
You
God,
sound like
Celestial
my-
is honky tonk.
No,
you sound
no,
like my
no,
father.
no. That's their Elvish accent.
That's the
coming
Elvish
through.
accent.
Ah, I love it.
Brady just snickers and goes, you sound like my father.
I'm glad I at least remind you more of home. It's good to bring about happy thoughts after tragedies and such. I should probably speak in a language that everyone else understands.
Please, I am so confused right now, and Elizabeth just kind of shakes her head and kind of.
Yeah, they were speaking in Celestial for that, and they kind of look sorry about that. I imagine you all don't want to be here, and they will. As you get to the exit of the of Ripe's home, that you take a few steps, and you feel again that cold of the air around you. And they kind of just push their hand out, and again you see that a spider web around their hand as they push, and you can see just the air itself pulling back as they just kind of walk forward and just like casually, just pushing back.
Artemis is utterly fascinated by that. She is openly staring at their hand and then back up at them and watching the way it weaves and moves.
And then they will.
Is that why?
Sorry, go ahead.
Aurelius is also watching in awe. He doesn't understand it, but he's like, oh,
What were
that's
you saying?
free.
What were you saying, Artemis?
Is that why she called me a shaper?
Oh, Leodans were more time shapers and a few other schools of magic, depending on which study they were focused on. My friend was a time shaper, not anything else. They pull their fingers, and you can see a tension of strands wrapping around their fingers. As they kind of pull and twist their hand for a second, they're like, And they pull out their dagger, and they just kind of, again, put it on a point and turn it. And you can see spindles. It's like a spindle just turning, spinning as they pull it back. And they're like, before I let go, would y'all mind holding together real quick? Just make sure everybody's touching. And one of y'all, Miss Landan, can you put your hand on me and then your hand on someone else? Just to make sure nobody falls over.
Artemis is going to show him the hand and then just pull back, just kind of shake her other side to show that she
Apologies.
only
Can
has.
someone put a hand on Miss Landan? Someone other than those who are carrying people, and one of
Elizabeth
the
back.
one of the girls will put a hand on Artemis' shoulder and then a hand on Serenity, and then from Serenity, they will all effectively. Most of the girls grab onto Serenity to be near to their companion. The other girls kind of grab onto either Artemis or Elizabeth and then pull everyone together effectively, and they go. And now here's the part where you got to understand the conjuration is a very peculiar but very fun magic, and they kind of like you feel like this let go, and you see the magic just kind of snap away from their hands, and you feel like a wave push behind you and almost shunt you forward, like you're being launched like a baseball, but you don't move. Your feet are on the ground as you feel yourself like pulled and just snapped until you go, and you are somewhere else. And you breathe in, and it's summer, warmth, and they kind of flex their fingers for a second, and they kind of look around. It's like, this is warm as thought it was. I'll go see my cousin later and ask him what they're doing around these parts. Your exit should be through the tunnel there. Just it's an archway of forest. Walk right through that. You should be fine. It should put you out, I'd say, about hopefully within a couple days' journey of where you're going at the very least. I'm pretty sure I got you close. I only know round about where Miss Cotton was, and she tried to give me the best explanation she could, but unfortunately, some people still think that talking into the gravel is going to help me hear what they're saying. So I did the best with what I could.
Thank you.
We appreciate it very much.
Of course. If you're ever back in the Feywild, do understand, I hope that you don't involve yourself with dangerous dealings like this in the future. If you are ever in like one of the courts and whatnot, and hopefully it's one of the spring courts, I would be happy to just converse with y'all, especially with you, Miss Lydan. You look like you got your brain firing at 1,000 miles per minute. Ask me 2 more questions before you go.
Oh, she just paused for a second, just tried to figure out which questions come to mind immediately.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know my family exactly? Is it just by word of mouth, reputation, or did you know them?
One of my friends had a friend, and I met them on a few occasions. They're nice enough people. Good folk. Way too squirrely. Put their face in the books most of the time, and they would come around, they'd talk about 17 things at once, and I'd be like, I heard about 19 things extra that you didn't say that were in between the lines. How did you do that? And they said, I made time, and I hated that. I hate that answer.
I'm sorry, I've never actually met them. Pauses and just kind of taps her fingers against her thumb while she's thinking of her second question. What kind of shaper are you?
I'm a summoner. I summon myself to other places or summon other things to me, whatever need be. Some people refer to it as conjuration.
Oh,
May I ask a question of you?
They squint at you and they think, and they're like, I'll allow you one.
If we're back in the Feywild, how are we supposed to contact you again?
If
You're
you're in a
certainly the
spring
most
court and you
gracious
say,
host.
if you're in the spring court and you say, excuse me, can someone help me speak with Fenrin Ashgard? If you get me a message, I'm capable of traversing the Feywild near as in within a couple of seconds, give or take, depending upon, instantaneously. I can ride the weave.
How would we know if we're in the spring court?
it feels like spring.
If it'll feel like spring, or you can ask. Believe it or not, asking a person, excuse me, am I near the spring court, is not the most egregious act you can do unless you're in, like, the coldest depths of hell. In which point you took a wrong turn. You somehow went out of Azaleas, through Nepal, and you ended up in hell. Don't ask me how. I'm not conjuring enough to know how you got there.
It was a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Fenrin.
Is that Ashgard?
Fenrin Ashgard.
No, I just wasn't sure whether to call you Mr. or Mrs. or just use the non-binary sir.
I don't care.
That's why I settled for sir.
Just don't call me late for dinner, because I'm not. I'm on time. Whenever the time is, I'm there.
You're
Are you
always
going
on
to make time?
Listen here, you sassy shit.
Wait, so your name is not late for dinner then?
Correct.
We should
Gotcha.
go.
I am not late for you. One more question, and then I'll have you on. Motions to the other women, just like, and the girls do not leave Serenity. The other 5 women they're trying to help coax them along. They're not leaving until you leave.
Come on, Serenity.
She nods her head. She'll start moving.
He'll look back to Artemis.
Yes.
Second question.
Oh,
You had
I
2
thought I
questions.
asked you already.
I thought that was 1.
Okay, I'll take that.
I'm not paying attention.
Hmm.
Kind of smiles good-naturedly.
Oh, I'll need to pick one. How does this work? And she just kind of acts like she's tracing lines around their hand.
They'll reach out and they'll touch the center of your palm. And they'll kind of trace the air for a moment. And then kind of curl one of your fingers. And for a moment, you feel your finger push against something. And then they kind of push your hand back. And as you pull it back, you see a very thin, silvery thread hooked under your finger. You kind of stare at it for a moment. And then they kind of pull it back. And you feel it loosen, and they're like, huh.
Her eyes are going to widen a little, and she'll look up at him. Do the colors mean anything?
You're looking towards the understanding of spirits, I take it.
There's a pause, and she'll nod.
There's a thing that you can do once you've mastered your own self with magic. It's not something that's the easiest thing, but it is possible. Not most youngins are able to do it, but effectively what it is that the more you focus on and specialize in your magic, and effectively just only your magic, the type that is attuned to your thoughts, the way that you think, the way that you feel, the way you breathe. The more you can push that magic out of yourself. And honestly,
You think you can handle it? I could show you something completely wild. I'm not supposed to do this, but I could show you.
She's gonna nod eagerly.
They like kind of step back slightly, and as they do so, you can see almost like spider threads loose for a moment, just seem to almost like slowly just almost spring into existence, thread after thread after thread after thread after thread after. You're not able to count them quick enough with how many there are, and they hold their hands up and they kind of pull them together and then kind of push their hands forward, and that you see them just almost like launch themselves and disappear in front of you. You hear them land behind you and then flick back again, flick, 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 just rapid fire for a couple seconds, just basically just bouncing around like a pinball before landing again and going, ta-da.
Artemis has been like trying to follow him with her eyes, just turning and her smile just slowly growing in utter fascination.
Aurelius isn't even bothering us way too quick for his mortal eyes.
So you stayed behind. Got it. Yeah. It's just again. You could see the threads. Is the one of the big things is that even though you're a half caster, you know a little bit about the weave, but seeing it physically manifested like that is interesting. It's different, kind of exciting, just to see this way that they're literally just whipping themselves around, just through the weave, following the path that they've built, following this spider web of conjuration to just disappear and reappear wherever they've woven it. But it's very loose with their weave as well, where they can just kind of snap it back wherever they want. It's unlike anything you've ever heard of, let alone seen. I'd say give yourself more time. And don't be afraid to be a little patient with yourself. You're probably a bit further along than you already know. Alright?
That was incredible. I've never seen anything like that before.
It's something I've been working on for the last couple centuries. It's a little trick. I know one of my cousins. They're getting themselves into that evocation stuff. That's so last century.
I wouldn't say magic tends to date itself.
I wouldn't either, but they keep going on about how good Fireball is, and I'm pretty sure that's just because they've heard about how their father utilized it, and I'm sorry, but when you hear someone say, I don't care how big this place is, it's my turn, and then you see a bunch of people walking out with singed eyebrows, hair that is puffed up, and ears that have little tinges of flame to them, you can't help but think maybe if you had thought about it for maybe a few seconds longer, you would have not done that.
Yeah, that's why I tend to not use fire. But it is quite fun.
Fire is very fun. However, it's just, I don't know, it's like
Erratic, hard to control.
father's magic.
Sorry, just call it for Artemis so she can still look at the portal.
You can walk out. You know she's coming.
I already have walked out.
Yeah.
The girls wouldn't move without
Oh
me.
yeah, no, I'll get into you guys in a second.
Oh
Okay.
no.
But yeah.
Artemis look at the portal, then back at them.
If you need to
I hope
see,
we meet again.
I hope so too. Like, as long as it's within the next century, I should remember your name. If I don't remember your name, that's not uncommon.
I imagine there's a limited memory, but almost unlimited time.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, stuff like that, yeah. Working on it.
Can may I have one more question?
Short.
Did you know anyone named Elinthi? Wyadent? or
I'm
Beliwar?
gonna message you real quick just to verify. Oh, she was just a babe last I heard. That was, again, a couple centuries ago when I was back in... Man, she's still around? Good for her. Man. Her mom was,
From the last I heard, perhaps?
Yeah, last I heard, her ma... was... was taken from us when the dragons came. Last I heard, at least. I could be wrong.
I believe they're both alive.
This look of absolute and utter huh? Oh, I must be real out of date then. At some point, try and catch me up on this. Clearly there's some stuff going on out there that I am unaware of, but I've also got some stuff back here I need to take care of.
Oh, I understand.
No,
I don't really know what they're about these days either. I just know that they're somewhere.
She's alive? Well, damn. How long is that? kind of starts like slightly wandering away slightly in this trying to process that.
It was nice meeting you.
Yep, you too. Take care, Artemis.
You as well, Fenrin.
For those of you who stepped out of the portal, he said that he did his best, tried to get as close as he could, probably a couple days travel. You guys step out. You were in the middle of the village.
Ow! Oh.
And
He
Artemis
was-
will be the last to come out.
Yeah, he was understating his abilities clearly because you are in the middle of the village.
We're back. And she'll kind of look at the girls, kind of going, "You guys are home."
They some of the parents who are nearby. There's like only two of them that are. They run over. They embrace their daughters. Others start not screaming, but like crying out that they're home. And there's a few others who are coming out. Just people who are concerned. Up until one family comes out, and they see you carrying their daughter.
She gives a very sad look.
And the father takes her in their arms, and they just kind of like, they just keep walking to the edge of the village, and you just hear them sobbing.
Can Aurelius see... Oh, what's the name of the cleric? Sorry.
Rebecca?
Yeah. Rebecca. Is she around?
Yeah. She's near enough by, and you see Poppy kind of like, not... effectively just kind of like move down and effectively start like growing what you presume to be flowers. As Rebecca kind of jogs over to you, kind of looks over their shoulder and sees them, again, just walking effectively just towards the edge of the village, and just looks to you. It's just like, 4 out of 5 is better than we expected. But I don't know where you brought these others from, but I presume at the very least it's good news.
Without saying anything, Elizabeth is going to take the necklace off, put it in the box, hand it to her, and start walking away.
She takes it and is just like, just takes it, nods, and like kind of watches you for a second, looks back to her wrist, just like, that bad?
Somebody's rubbing at her wrist.
Aurelius.
Yeah, Aurelius is stepping out later, so look to Serenity first. Sorry. Aurelius, you'll step
sorry.
out in a moment. Yeah.
Before I've had a contract, with someone of the Feywild.
It doesn't
To
sound
keep
good.
his vision and his hearing, he was to attract an audience. And so he thought the best way would be to bring the audience with him. They would never age, they would never die. Who he made a deal with came and severed whatever contract they had, as this was not what they had meant. Unfortunately, in our fight with Ripe, she was hit and she did not survive the damage.
She pinches the bridge of her nose and she turns like a few shades darker, like a flame that's sputtering out almost.
If need be, I will take responsibility for that, as I was close to her and was the reason he used such a spell to get away from me.
No, I'm not blaming any of you. I'm blaming him. All the blame should be put on him and not you. You could only do so much.
Should have done more.
What? You should have lifted heaven and earth. You should have reached to the sky to grab the gods, to wrestle them to the world. We can't do everything.
I should have noticed that she was down and healed her.
You could have. Maybe. But where you were? If you didn't notice her where you were, how would you have known to do it?
He stays silent.
I'm not saying you couldn't have done more, or that you might have been able to do more. I'm saying don't hurt yourself for that. I've got an aunt who quit being paladin because they couldn't help enough people. I have a cousin who stopped protecting people because they couldn't save everyone. That's not how it works. We can't heal everyone. We can't save everyone. We're not that lucky. We're not gods.
She just takes a deep breath and nods her head.
In the back of your head, you hear Invictus say, "Not right now, but you could be."
He looks at Rivica, if I'm remembering her name correctly.
Yep, Rivica.
I think I need to take a walk myself.
I'm not going to stop you. You do what you need. Then Aurelius, all of a sudden, you go, clang, 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 just comes out, and she kind of jumps. It's like, "Oh, you survived." And then Artemis steps out as well. It's like, "Oh, did you want your arm back? It's been a few days since you...
Did you want your arm back?
You've been... Yeah, you... Sorry, I remember you specifically for that. That is not what I should remember you by. I am so sorry. That was incredibly insensitive of me."
He has a very faint smile.
Artemis is just gonna look at her. She looks a little bit dazed. And this is probably the first time Rebecca has really seen her face and her ears, because she's fully exposed, because she lost her scarf while she's down there. She's not going back in the water to get it. So she just looks at her. She's like, yes, I would appreciate that.
Yeah. And she kind of looks at you, and there's definitely like a couple seconds lingering pause as they kind of stare at you for a moment. I'll just go get that. Sorry. Sorry. They scurry off to go get that.
So
Thank
you. Look at the group. I'm going to take a walk, but before I do, I have a question for all of you.
It's just Artemis and Aurelius.
Well, yeah, all of you referring to those two.
Okay.
Is there a chance that you felt a breeze? Particularly after your prayer, Aurelius?
Would Aurelius have noticed that?
No.
Okay.
I'd say the only bit you might have noticed might have been like the faint breeze against her cheek, but that you removed your holy symbol, it could have just been you moving.
Hmm.
It's not something that you would have latched onto.
Aurelius shakes his head softly as he walks past her and looks upon the family who's just suffered a great loss. And he wants to say something. He badly wants, like, you can tell he wants to comfort them in any way that he can, but
Let them mourn, Aurelius.
he doesn't know how.
There is nothing that we can do to help them right now.
This is outside my skill set.
Outside all of ours. Artemis. Love.
Yes.
Can you take Aurelius back to our tavern?
Yes.
Alright,
After.
focus.
Where's Rivika?
She's getting my arm.
Right,
She'll be
sorry.
back in just a moment. Artemis is going to reach over and just gently touch Aurelius's arm. Is he injured?
He is, and he has not done anything to heal himself.
Alright, she's going to cast Cure Wounds.
Also, part of his gauntlet is cracked on his left arm. You can see a little bit of his, what you would presume to be his clothing beneath, a very dark coloration. Almost like this faintly weird looking, like almost like it's like almost off black color.
Do I see that?
Does it look like leather?
No, well, slightly.
I'm asking if this scarred skin you're describing looks like leather.
A little bit, yeah. That's why I said slightly.
She'll kind of look, she'll notice it as she's looking him over, but she won't stare.
Mm-hmm.
And it heals you for 6. Wait a minute.
I'll say no, by the way, Paris. You do not see this at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it heals you for 6.
Okay. So, what kind... This isn't holy magic. This is something else. Never mind.
Yeah, no, this is arcane healing.
Yeah, alright. So, if it was holy magic, it would have had a different reaction, but since it's just traditional arcane magic, you, for a moment, see, like, a brief red pulse from the leather, or presumed leather, underneath. And then it disappears as quickly as it's
Is she able to recognize that it's scarred skin and not leather, or...
No, yeah, I'd say definitely at that point, because you had to look him over a bit. I'd say you've seen enough to know.
I mean, I just thought it'd be safer to ask.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Elizabeth, where'd you go?
Yes.
Where did you go?
She wandered in the direction of the tavern, but she's not really paying attention to where she's going.
High or low?
Low.
Don't fall off the table. 16.
Ooh. Okay.
You wander. And you know the feeling of falling in line.
Mm-hmm.
As someone walks next to you, walking in step with you. Not the military sort of step, like not that marching sort of thing. The languid sort of step of someone who is just keeping step just to kind of mess with your sense of your own movement.
She'll lift her head from the ground where she was staring while she walked and tilt her head up to see who it is.
You see the bookshop keeper. They kind of glance. She's like, "Ah, you're back.
Yep.
Right this way." They will turn and they will walk towards their bookshop.
Oh, okay. I guess now's a good time as any, and she'll follow.
We'll get to that next session.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything else the rest of you wish to accomplish today?
You're
taking a walk.
The whole time she's just arguing with Victus.
Invictus is not arguing back. I imagine you're basically just yelling at him.
She's asking him if that was him in the first place. That was fucking with the girl.
When you ask that, they go, "I would never."
You told me to drown the satyr.
I mean, obviously. He made your companion into a drowned bird. You should have knocked him into the river and dragged him around a little bit. You didn't have to drown him fully. You can half drown him.
What's to stop you from messing with the souls of others?
I'm not allowed. That's literally part of how souls work. Duh.
Hold on, give me a moment. Fritz is going off.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure I understand what the hell you mean by that. You're a devil.
Yes, I'm a devil. Do you understand how souls work?
And you're not.
Souls are taken by Metalois, god of the dead, or by one of their subordinates, one of the people under them, to ferry souls from the land of the living to Aitse. However, before they can go through there is a judgment. Devils do not take souls from the line. Devils offer deals with which, if it shows that contract weighs heavily upon their soul, and that makes them evil by their actions, by their lack of actions, or by their very nature of their soul, then yes, they come and they join us. Or if they're, bonding with demons, if they lose themselves so entirely and fully that they let their soul become tainted with the black... Sorry, I don't like the Abyss. The Abyss touches things and makes it gross. It's not dignified how they do it. They just kind of watch the soul twist itself until it's bent backwards, and then they just let the soul die and yank it back to the Abyss. That's how demons work with it. Devils are more dignified and more thought out. Obviously.
What's dignified about dragging a satyr through the river? And an
vengeance.
Act of one violence.
Vengeance
right,
should
I'm
be...
back.
Welcome back. Vengeance should be handled thoroughly. He kidnapped not just 5 people, he kidnapped 10 people, and even killed one of them. Being half drowned is the least of his worries.
Thought you would be one for revenge. So then what was that little effect?
Oh.
You don't know. Don't you claim to be all-knowing half the time?
No, I claim to know things beyond your expectations. There's a very, very big difference between all-knowing and beyond your expectations. You tacked on the label of all-knowing. I just didn't correct you.
This is far beyond my expectations, so why don't you know it?
Because it's far beyond your expectations, and it's something I haven't yet experienced myself. We'll be able to talk about things of that nature at some point when I know more. But I need to experience more to know more.
as revved up about this as I am, aren't you?
If it's... Oh. Excuse me for a moment. I'm being asked to hold.
What? What?
Click.
What? You're in my head! It just vanished away like that!
It's actually more like a faint, very faint, distant, smooth jazz of someone playing a weird instrument that you've never heard of called the saxophone.
As a sax player, this is appreciated.
Absolute oversized imp.
As you then hear a faint fluttering sound
He's looking up and around.
in your head, and then it seems to like come from your head, almost like to the front of your head, and then outside. Then you hear as you see a bird fly from behind you. You did not hear this bird from behind you per se. You look behind you, there was no bird. And then now there's a bird in front of you.
Okay.
As it just kind of flies off between some buildings, it seems to move off to a more secluded area. Do you follow it?
Yeah, why not?
We'll get to that next session. However, I will leave you with this. As you come to around, it's like a druid's park. There's a tree growing out off to the side, a few benches that have been made kind of curled with a bit of, not the most comfort, but it would be able to hold up someone if they needed to sit upon it or lay upon it as needed, with a bit of, kind of back support for leaning back. As you move over, you kind of look around and you just kind of feel inclined to sit. Do you follow that inclination?
Yeah.
Sit down. And you hear that, again, that fluttering sound from behind you. As you kind of lean back slightly, you see someone's feet or talons standing on the back of the bench. As you see a figure, mostly humanoid in appearance, with arms that become wings. And I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, goody. Why am I rolling good with this? What the fuck?
Because it's the end of the session.
Probably, yeah. As that does succeed, as you look up and you see a face that, as far as you can tell, is starlight and just eyes looking almost in every direction, with hair that seems to almost act like wings fluttering in a inescapable wind. As they look and say, effectively, don't be afraid, Serenity. You're doing well. Hello. It's good to see you again. And that is where we'll end the session.
Okay.
We have effectively split the party again.
Yes, you guys continue to do this, but at the same time, I'm trying to use these characters to help shove you back together and super glue you, because at this point, you keep doing this. Granted,
At least this
granted,
time, Artemis didn't rock off.
yes. And being fair, the DM, I am okay with you guys wandering off. It just means I have more opportunities to eventually one day spring traps that will hurt your characters in a fight that really they will have every opportunity to win.
Kidnap me, bro. Do it. I dare you.
Don't tempt me. I'll do it.
Do it.
Don't tempt me. I'll do it, but not today.
Yeah.
That being said,
Basically, all
yeah.
I wanted to do with Aurelius was basically tell to Rivica, yeah, no, look after these people. They're gonna have some sad boy hours. If there's anything you can do to ease the pain, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got something for that too, but that'll be more of a next session thing because
Okay. Yeah.
obviously there's
Just
plenty.
Yeah.
There's plenty that you all are getting into.
Mm-hmm. Breathe, Kendall, breathe.
Oh no, I'm fine. I'm just excited giggles.
Okay.
Yeah, I showed off just a wee bit of some of the bullshit elves can do in my world. And as I have spoken of, in my world, one of the only creatures capable of equal classing them were dragons.
I could have been doing this with Naivara. I've been cheated.
Being fair, you were also moving up towards Halo, where a lot of that was how do I put this? Not
Illegal.
as
Illegal.
Which part was illegal?
The magic.
I mean, you were also trying to do warlock bullshit. Yes. 100%.
Hey.
But
I was only doing some warlock bullshit, and that was at most summoning a blink dog. Leave me and Benji alone.
I recall Benji. Benji was a good bean, but that's not the point. Your mother was also born after the time they created the Age of War.
Ah.
So she wouldn't have had knowledge of that versus a elf from the Feywild who is almost 900 years old.
Yeah. Basically a millennial.
Stop.
Yes.
You've got a bot.
I'm
in
aware
your
there's a
chat.
bot and I don't know how to get rid of it.
Hold
You need
on.
to make one of us
Mod me.
mod
I got this.
Where are you at?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Hold
he
on.
and I are still in the chat, so
I'm still in there. I just don't know
Yeah.
how to do the do.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me just click on my name, right click.
Where's your name?
look in the chat
Got it.
because you can mod multiple people.
Oh,
Basically, what I need to know is
I figured out how to do it. I need to click on
what the username of the thing is.
Hold on. Manage suspicious.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much.
Just
I like how soggy Artemis is now.
Oh, soggy.
She's soggy.
she's wet. She's just
Very,
completely
very wet.
Did you like that, by the way? That basically the fight was never fighting Ripe. It was fighting his lair.
Yes.
Also, because 4th of July, all of his lair effects, except for one, were about fireworks.
Yeah, notice that too.
Same. What the sounds going off at my house really added to the atmosphere.
Oh
Same.
no, we just started getting fireworks like just now. I just heard them.
I have
Really?
been having
I thought-
fireworks for the last 3 hours.
Been having them for the last week or so.
That too.
Americans.
Yeah, we're terrible.
Yeah.
So loud.
Do I have to follow you first? Oh,
Are you
wait.
not following Zark?
No. I was
Offensive.
not. No, I was following
How dare
Zark.
you?
I was confused. I'm like, I
I
wasn't
was say you're following both of us.
No, I'm following
Just
you
do
now.
slash.
Oh,
Yeah.
me. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Slash what?
I don't do shit.
To mod people slash mod and then username.
Do my fwains.
Wow, I am mod now. Now I have mod powers, so I can go into the mod view. And while I'm in mod view, I can
do
check
things.
who's in chat.
But yes,
What was the bot's name?
I banned them.
He's already taken care of
Alright,
it.
cool. No worries.
I figured out how to do that, but I appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna, because you guys are generally in the chat regardless. But beyond that, I hope you guys.
Am I getting modded?
You were modded, yeah, 100%.
Okay. I was gonna say, hold on. My
you and
computer
Kendall.
decided not to.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I've been given power?
You've been
Fantastic.
given power. Don't abuse it.
Oh, of course not.
I've modded so many in the past. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Cool. I'm excited for Aurelius to get Moonsword.
That is going to be a next session thing as well.
Yeah.
And now everyone in the village gets to see that Artemis is an elf because she's tired and probably not going to be putting back on her disguise because everyone has seen her now.
If they've seen you, most of the people here are more focused on the girls you've returned, so it's very likely that not a lot of people will bring it up or think about it unless you continue the look. Granted, a few of them might passingly remember, but that's for another time. That being said,
By the way, it didn't mod me.
didn't mod you.
It didn't mod me.
I'll deal with it.
Just letting you know.
Actually, there's a literal angel in the town as well, so that might detract from it as well.
Being fair, no one is around you. No one is around this area. It is devoid of everyone currently. It's just you
I mean, for later.
and them. But we'll get to that. So, until next week, where we will pick back up, hopefully. We stream these around 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, but we try and start up the stream around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Mondays, weekly, where we continue with the chaos and the catastrophe, because, of course, in the hopes that we'll see more of the absolute insanity that is this group, because goodness gracious, you all never cease to make me go, oh, that's what you're doing. Okay, all right, that's cool. and I love it. I honestly love it, and I hope you all are enjoying it too.
Oh, very much so.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
I'm enjoying it very much.
Yay!
Thank you for joining us for Cormundum Chaos.
And until
We'll
next
be back
week,
next week.
we'll be back next week. We are WhatTeamComp, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.